Well, good evening and a welcome to the Robinson Sports Network. I'm Chris Gay. That's Coach Updergrove in the middle, and that's Will Stafford, your color commentator for tonight's game. But, Coach, you guys made it out of the first round, and that was a hard-fought matchup against Camden Fairview. And I think it surprised a lot of people. Didn't surprise me. I knew they'd give you a run for your money, but what did you think about that game?
Yeah, I mean, first of all the credit goes to Camden. They came out and played really hard. They had some things go their way, but I wasn't real pleased with, I didn't feel like we finished drives when we got down in the, lower red zone, and then, a bunch of penalties. And, some of them are questionable, but that's, officials are part of the game. So that is what it is. Like you said, I'm just happy to be, playing this week. And, I was proud of our kids for, again, responding at halftime after, a nice little conversation that we had in the indoor. And I thought they really responded. And if you really look at it, it's not like we just were stalled and didn't do anything. Like, we're moving the ball. Well, then we scored once and had a penalty, take it back. We scored another time, had a penalty, taking it back, which, again, is part of the game. We have to overcome it. But, just that first round matchup is always just really scary. And then when you play a team like Camden, who can kind of match us athletically and size wise, it makes it tough. And, I told the kids all week, if you give them a little bit of life, they're going to run with it. And they did that in the first half. They had all the momentum and definitely a little dicey situation early.
Go ahead. You got it, bro.
Okay. I have to ask this because Will and I looked at this afterward. Obviously, they scored one, maybe two touchdowns in the second half, and one of them was the trick play that, make it seem like there's really 11 guys on the field. Well, there weren't. There were 12. I don't know if you had seen that. I'm guessing by your expression, you probably know about that.
Yeah, no, we saw it as it was going on. And I guess, if you can see me down there, I'm letting the side judge know there's 12. He communicated with me that he knew or that he was going to, talk about it. And next thing you know, they're kicking the extra point. And so I go out there and I'm like, guys, there was 12. And, they were like, well, we just had 11. I said, no, they had, they're in 10 personnel. They've got 4 wide receivers, a running back and a quarterback. And the kid who got the touchdown wasn't in that formation. And, they said, well, Coach, if we missed it, it's on us or whatever. And that's good, great and all. But if we end up losing that game, it's by 1 or 6 or whatever. And there's other things that go into it. But it's a play that I had warned them about pregame that they were going to do it probably because they had done it 2 or 3 other times. And I mean, credit to them. They got it past them. But, in their, I guess, defense, the White Hat did call me Saturday morning and admitted that they had made a mistake, which, again, is great. But it doesn't make you feel real good in the moment. But, again, they're part of the game. And we have to overcome it. And I was proud of our kids. I felt like, at the time I was upset with Kalen Norwood because I was like, we had repped the play all week. We had talked about it. And then when I realized they had 12, well, it's not his fault. He thinks they're in 2x2 and there's just 2 receivers over there and there's 11 guys out there. And so, it is what it is. I've had a lot of phone calls or whatever about it. We had a parent feed the team tonight, and that was the one thing he wanted to talk about. He had it drawn up and all this other stuff. And, it's just part of it. My wife gets on to me all the time because I, tend to lose my cool at times, but I told her on Saturday, that's kind of why I lose my cool sometimes.
Yeah, and a few I don't know like how many exactly plays after that it was, but I wanted real quick talk about Brent Mooney.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, man, like scored his first touchdown on varsity freshman. Was that like a play that was written up for him, or was that just split second, hey, Brent, you're going out there?
No, we had been repping Brent the last 2 weeks. He'd started coming to varsity practice 5 or 6 weeks ago while they had junior high defensive practice. He doesn't play defense, and obviously he's our freshman quarterback. And we have a lot of faith in Brent, and he kind of adds a different, dynamic to our offense with his legs. He's fully capable of throwing it, but we trust him a lot. And there's things in there for him to do going forward, because we do have so much faith in him, and in the run game, it allows us to add an extra hat for a blocker. So just seeing how excited he is. If you knew Brent at all, he is here all the time. He never gets – the kid will break a 70-yard touchdown run, and he barely smiles. We're with him all the time because he's so quiet, which it's a great thing to have in a quarterback because he's pretty level-headed. He doesn't get too upset or get too excited, but just really excited to see him. Once he kind of got around the edge, I was like, he's going to cut it. He's going to cut it up, and he's going to put his foot in the ground. He's got a lot of explosion with that. We wear like the little GPS trackers on about 15 or 16 of our guys, and we put Brent in one, I guess, second to last junior high game, and he got, close to 20 miles an hour. So he can run, and, it's probably a wrinkle or two you'll see going forward.
And speaking of rushing, this is something that I also wanted to touch up on because it's hard not to talk about Deuce. Obviously, another 3 touchdowns, but that's not what I want to talk about here. Obviously, he went down with an injury, and he was on the sideline getting taped up, looked at for a good portion of that game. 2 questions on Deuce. Number 1, how is he doing? And number 2, I saw him talking to you on the sideline before he came in to score his 3 touchdowns in the same quarter. What was that conversation like? Because from my point of view, it seemed like he was ready to go back in because he feels like the type of guy that he'll put the team on his shoulders when he needs to.
100%. So Deuce is as healthy as he's going to be, ever since probably Cersei, he's been fighting, I told Wes Moore the other night, if we had to do an injury report like they have to do in the SEC or the NFL or whatever, Deuce would have, his own column because it's not one thing. It seems to add to it every week. But, he's done a good job with rehab this week. And, we've kept him out of practice quite a few weeks up until either Wednesday or Thursday just to let him be in the, training office with Z and just get all kinds of rehab ice, all that kind of stuff. His parents are great about getting him deep tissue massages and taking him to the cryo place to get, just extra therapy. So that's a huge blessing. But no, when he tweaked the ankle late, he came up to me and said, "Hey, coach, if we're going to run the ball, I can go. If we're going to pass, can we put somebody in the pass block?" I said, "Well, you talk to Coach Brown and ask him." We got to stop, and we were walking out there, the offensive huddle. I said, "What are you doing?" or whatever. And said, we're going to run it here or whatever. And Deuce was like, "I got it." And then after he scored, he came to me and was like, "Coach, I probably need to be done now." And I was like, "Yeah, we're up 17 at this point. If we can't hold this lead, brother, you've done enough, and he's just answered the bell every week. His dad actually came up to him in the Cersei game on the bench just to check on him and said, "Brother, you don't have to be Superman." And it's not that Deuce thinks he is. It's the way he's wired. And that, like I say it all the time to people, it's a huge credit to his parents, Kevin and Tasha. They have ingrained in those children, you go out and compete. No matter what it is, you go compete. And that kid competes. You could play him in checkers, and he's going to compete. And he's just a joy to coach. Winning means so much to him. His teammates mean the world to him. And he's just been a blessing to coach and be around.
Now, we were taking a look at Farmington. Obviously, they're a great team out of the Northwest, but, with a lot of those Northwest Arkansas teams, they just love to pass the ball. And I know that you just played a team that kind of likes to mix it up, but you've played some passing teams. You played a Cersei. They love to pass it all over the field. Maumelle as well. So what's kind of the game plan heading into this matchup?
Well, I think it all starts with the Lester kid at quarterback. He's a special talent. He's kind of the head of the snake. You got to cut the head off of the snake. And we know that he's kind of got a little Johnny Manziel to his game with his legs to move around and just create. He's banged up early in the year with a knee, I think, and he's got a pretty big brace on there, but he still just makes it happen. So with that, you've got to contain him. You can't. Our biggest thing is on the D-line especially, we cannot just, rush the passer and rush past him. We've got a good rush. Now we need to settle and not create running lanes for him or just opportunities for him to scramble around. And actually this week at practice, Brent's been him, and he has given us an incredible look. The poor child tonight at practice was just dead because we've let the play go on longer, much longer than it will in the game. At least I hope. And he's just running just like a chicken with his head cut off. And he's given us a great look. So, it starts with him. He's got good receivers. Number 6, a really good receiver. You got 1, 12. The backs catch it well out of the backfield, and they're going to line up in multiple formations. So we've got to be able to have some checks to that. And I feel good about the stuff that we have. So, we've got to show up and play. I think we definitely have an advantage in the athleticism department, and that's got to take over some. And then I like our size compared to theirs, but it doesn't matter if we don't go out and execute. So, but Camden, I think, was really good for our kids. They were not satisfied. They were pretty upset with themselves. Usually we'll have 10 to 15 guys on Sundays at the most, and we had probably 20 to 30 guys showing up for either rehab. The DBs showed up and wanted to do film with their coaches early. So that's a huge, just makes you feel good as a coach because they understand the severity of it and how important these games are.
And with that type of very pass first offensive team, you're going to see a lot of high scoring. In 8 out of their 11 games, they've scored over 35 points, which is very hard to do on the high school at the high school level.
Well, Robinson does it.
Yeah, Robinson does do it. But in this case, so with that, that's going to, you can almost kind of guess that it may be a shootout. So going into a game, knowing that it's going to be high scoring, how are you as a coach feeling? And do your kids kind of know that that's a very real possibility?
Well, I mean, if I'm just being honest, it better not be high scoring. We have worked really hard this week defensively to work on the things that they're really good at. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to score and they're not going to make plays, but I really feel good about the game plan that we have. And I feel like the more high scoring it gets, it's advantaged them because I feel like they're comfortable in that. Last year they had a game with Morrilton that, I don't know what score. It was like 100 to 100 or something. It was crazy. And so they're more comfortable with that than we are. We kind of hang our hat on defense, going into the playoffs, we were giving up like 11 points a game, and, conference, we gave up like 2 or 3 a game. So, I really think our kids do well with the challenge, and it excites them. I kind of talked about how I didn't feel like we took Cersei seriously, and, they jumped up and got us, and then it kind of woke us up for Pine Bluff and Maumelle, because I knew we would get up for Maumelle for what it was, but I think the kids took it to another level. They kind of felt like they had something to prove. And, I feel like with everybody making this game the way it is, I feel like our kids have kind of taken that on, and this group seems to do that really well. So it may be high scoring, but, at the end of it, I may need to just go all the way bald at that point because I can't do too many more like that. But, I really do think our kids are excited for the challenge and facing a team like that. Because, if we don't lose to Lakeside last year, that would have been the first time we'd have played Farmington, And my thing with that is we held Lakeside to 21 or whatever, and then, they scored 56 the next week. So I know we're going to put some points up. We feel good about our game plan on offense. So, I guess we'll see.
Now, I got to ask, in my conversations with Coach Escola last year, it seemed like he never watched or kept up with any of the other scores from around the playoffs. But, we were keeping up with of course, in the bracket, you win this game, you maybe play Hot Springs. And, of course, they had a tough one with BB. But what did you see with some of the other scores from around the playoffs?
Well, I wasn't shocked by the BB game just because, Coach Sparks, they like that 3 high safety look, which makes it tough to get vertical on. And I know Hot Springs kind of thrives on that. And then BB's also okay with putting almost, if they could put 12 tight ends out there, they would, and just hand it to 0. And the kid's a good back. So it was a good recipe for an upset. And unfortunately, they didn't finish it. Would love to see, more of our conference opponents win. I talked to Coach Clark afterwards, and first thing he said, it was a bad night for my sophomore quarterback to finally act like a sophomore quarterback. Had 5 interceptions. They scored 2 defensive touchdowns. And so that, I knew Searcy and Lakeside was going to be a competitive game. You've got Searcy and Greenbrier this week, which should be a really good game because there's going to be a lot of ice baths after that game because those two are going to run the ball and they're going to get after each other. And then, the East seemed to be down all year, so I wasn't surprised that, that they lost all their games just because, they were tough matchups. Even Harrison's a tough 4 seed for Valley View, and they're a good program. And so, they got Parkview this week, so that should be an entertaining game. I think you probably have the best 8 teams outside of like a Searcy or something like that this week. So, we not a bunch of huge shocks, but at this point of the year, you're gonna play a good football team.
Will, anything you want to add?
Just honestly, just a good luck this week. This is going to be a really exciting week. I guess the one thing I will ask is that, how did the environment feel last week? Because to me, it felt really good, especially on the, slight 4-point comeback.
Yeah, no, you could just there was a lot of tension in the stands because when we got the pick 6, I was like, okay, let's get rolling. Then we throw the pick 6, and I was like, God, boy, the momentum really just changed. And you could feel how tense it was in the stands and stuff. And then when we scored to go up and then got the pick and scored right away, I felt like our crowd really got back into it. And we've had great crowds all year. I expect another one on Friday night. We need it. And I think our kids feed off of it. So, I'm excited. Anytime you're playing into November, it's exciting. We have a big Thanksgiving tradition if we play on Thanksgiving, and we haven't got to do that in 3 or 4 years. So hopefully we can take care of business and practice next week.
All right, Coach. Well, we hope so too. And it's playoff football, everybody. Let's get excited and let's send it right back to the field.
Good evening and welcome to the Robinson Sports Network presented by UAMS Health and by First Community Bank. This is playoff football here under the Friday night lights live at Charlie George Stadium. Your Joe T. Robinson Senators are set to host the Cardinals of Farmington High School. I'm Chris Gay, your play-by-play commentator. This is Will Stafford, your color analyst, and we could not be more excited for this quarterfinal matchup. Your Senators perfect heading into the season, 11-0, 7-0 in conference play. Of course, it's 0-0 in these playoff games, but 1-0 so far in the 5A playoffs after they defeated the 5A South Camden Fairview Cardinals last week. That was a great game, but this should be another great game against another Cardinal team. And Will, this is a really good Farmington squad, 9-2 overall this season. They went 6-1 in the 5A West, and the 5A West is so good because you also got Greenbrier that came in undefeated, number one seed out of the West. But Will, what are you looking at this Farmington team? And we were kind of talking about it. They kind of fit the archetype that a lot of Northwest Arkansas teams have.
And that archetype is passing like crazy. Now, Chris, they don't have everything updated on Max Preps, which is normally what I use for all my specific stats.
Right.
So they only have about 8 games uploaded, but in those 8 games, they've only rushed the ball 60 times, which sounds like a lot, but if you do the math, they rush the ball roughly 10 to 11 times a game, which would put you at about 100 rushes a year, or on the year so far. And that compared to Robinson, 266 rushing attempts, including last week. So that is a very stark difference. But why would you rush when you have a player like Aiden Lester behind the ball? He has 9,000 career total yards, which is unbelievable. He, I believe last year, 3,000 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, on just 108 attempts, which is that's unbelievable. And 1,000 rushing yards, by the way.
Yeah.
And the attempts, I apologize, 370 attempts. I misspoke.
That's really incredible.
I misspoke. But this is a very good passing team, and it's going to be it's almost like the archetype with Searcy that we saw just a few weeks ago. Searcy did not run the ball a lot in that game. They love to air it out. So it's going to come down for Robinson. Can the secondary catch up and stay and kind of stay in front at all times? And it's also going to be on the D-line to be able to pressure Lester as much as possible in order to force him to scramble and make erratic throws.
Absolutely. And, of course, what makes a great quarterback sometimes is having a great receiving core, and Lester has that. He has 3 top-tier receivers, all have college football futures: Dawson Keaton, Brady Richard, Aiken Johnson. Also, what helps him out, all 3 of those top receivers are seniors. Now, of course, we can't not talk about the one senior star that we talk about every single week for your Senators, and that's Deuce Williams. And, Will, I know he was playing banged up all night against Camden Fairview, but it didn't look like it.
No, it didn't. And he's been playing banged up since around the Searcy game, which we were just talking about with Coach Up a couple nights ago. He's been playing banged up basically in every game, but it came down to last week, it came down to Deuce Williams. And he is the type, and we confirmed this with Up, he basically said, I'm going to be on that field if you're rushing the ball. So Coach Up said, all right, you're going to play. He scores 3 touchdowns in a quarter, and then he doesn't touch the field again. So you're not going to see Deuce Williams too much on the defensive end tonight, which we do see very often. But Coach Up also spoke about, we're going to very possibly see Tank Reese more in the backfield behind Reese Simpson. Taking a load off of Deuce Williams, because Tank is about the same size. Yeah. He has very, very good legs. So it's going to be interesting to see how much we see him, as well as Trey Petty and Bryson Cunningham.
Well, like you said, he had 1 carry last week. It went for a first down. But last week, of course, as he and Deuce Williams and Lennox Campos are the 3 captains for the Senators tonight, that is one heck of a tackler. Coming into the season, leading the team in tackles at 117 or into this game. And then last week against Camden Fairview, he had 15 total tackles. 12 of them were solo tackles, along with 2.5 tackles for a loss. So that's a guy that every single week is a major catalyst. And then that guy on the left side, like I said, Lennox Campos, he had a nice game last week, but he's coming in to this game with 10.5 sacks on the year. Just an incredible edge rusher, slightly undersized, but that doesn't mean anything. It just means he's unblockable. And noting that this Farmington offensive line, they're experienced, but compare them to like a Dominio Patterson or to a Trayson King in the trenches, I think the Senators have the edge up front, but we'll have to see. And, of course, I think the real test is also, do you go, especially with Deuce kind of a little iffy injury-wise, as, still looking at the coin toss towards the middle. Did I hear him say they were going to defer?
I don't know what that was.
I don't know either. But I'm
That's what I was trying to watch.
But I'm curious about the receiving attack this week. Of course, Braylon Brown, he had 2 catches last week. Nothing crazy by any means, but that's a guy that they've been trying to get him involved. But another guy that we had not called his name because he hadn't played up until last week was Brent Mooney, who is the junior high quarterback and part of this running back room. Of course, he had a touchdown late in last week's contest, and he's going to be wearing number 6 tonight. He was wearing 28, but, of course, like I said, wearing number 6 along with Kalen Norwood on the defensive side. So I think that's pretty good indication. We're going to see some more Mooney football tonight, but until then, let's see. It's about 1:40 till kickoff. The Senators ready to run out. This crowd on their feet, ready to watch their Senators in the quarterfinal of the 5A playoffs. And here come the Senators. The Senate is in session. But, Will, I'm curious about your take on this. Obviously we talked a lot about Farmington's receiving core, but there are athletes all over the field for Robinson. Do you think we maybe see a few more? Only 10 passes were attempted last week. Do you think we could see upwards of maybe 15?
I think that's possible, but with as good of a running back room as Coach Updergrove and his coaching staff have, I don't see that being the number one priority this week. Obviously, last week we asked Coach Up, what is going to be kind of your approach, and he wanted to go 50-50, but when a player like Deuce Williams gets hot, it's hard not to keep going in that direction. So it's going to be very interesting to see what direction they take it in tonight, as it looks like, it's going to be Farmington's ball first, which that's going to be exciting because we get to see Farmington's offense very early.
Now, of course, the Senators will have the ball to start the second half, but back deep to return for the Cardinals, number 6, Dawson Keaton, the senior receiver. And I can't tell if that's a 0 or an 8, but I think that's maybe that's an 8. That's number 8. Well, so the thing with Farmington, we have their roster. They have so many players, and you don't see this with high school very often. You see with college, they have so many players that they have double numbers all over the field. So 8 could either be Cameron Miller, a running back, or Latrell Scales, a defensive back. I could not tell you. So there's probably going to be mistakes on names a few times tonight. Of course, we do know number 17 is Aiden Lester. We know that number. That's going to be a number we call out several times tonight. But for the Senators, the number situation's a little bit easier, as number 99, William Tate, is set to kick off here. Will he send it back deep? It's going to be a high one. It will go to Scales or Miller, whoever this is. He's going to return, not much there. Take it down immediately by a couple of Senators.
And on this defensive end, you need to start hot. You cannot allow Farmington to catch a rhythm.
So the Cardinals will start at the 24-yard line. And there's Lester and the offense.
And this is going to be a pretty easy prediction game for us. Are they going to run? Are they going to pass it? I think it's pretty easy tonight. Now, they do rush the ball a few times here and there, but you're not going to see a lot of it. And you can kind of tell that's how, with those 2 free safeties on the Robinson end.
Yeah, empty set. Lester looking to pass early, and incomplete pass right there. He was looking for one of his star receivers, Aiken Johnson, who's really been picking up the offers in his recruiting game, even picking up an offer from Johns Hopkins.
I think Lester got a little bit frightened there. There were some big bodies running at him very early on. Now, he still had plenty of time to make a decision, but that's going to be kind of the key for Robinson is put the pressure on Lester.
And keep an eye on the matchup in the middle. Their center is Jaden Davidson. He's 180 pounds, as that's a big UAMS first down completion right there to number 6, Dawson Keaton. But like I said, Davidson, their center, he's very experienced as a solid blocker, but he is 6'1", 180. I'm bigger than that. Dominio Patterson is definitely bigger than that. He's about 330, 6'4", so that will be an interesting matchup there in the middle. Even Fisher Taylor's got the size advantage against their interior line, so keep an eye there. Empty set again for the Cardinals, 1st and 10. Lester looking left. He's going to step up, trying to take off. He got away somehow. Redmond tracked him down, but not after picking up about 3 yards.
And again, he had over 1,000 rushing yards last year as a quarterback. So This kid can scramble and get out of the pocket very easily. And that's kind of what you want to do, but you want to try and force erratic throws, not allow him to get past the line of scrimmage.
And for the Cardinals, their left guard, Gavin Hammock, junior guard, he limped off the field, so they're in with a reserve lineman. But 2 running backs in the backfield now, 2 receivers, off to the right, 1 to the left. Lester still electing to throw. He's going to go deep for his man, way off right there, but there is a flag. It might be a defensive holding. That was Kalen Norwood in coverage.
And I think there was just a little bit of miscommunication there on the Farmington end, so Farmington gets a good break. And, that's going to be kind of, last week, there's going to be a holding on the defense, but last week there were a lot of silly penalties by the Senators, and it cost them a lot and gave a lot of free first downs, just as it does right there.
And Cardinals into Senator territory for the first time. Similar formation. 2 receivers on the near side now. Lester will hand off this time. And not much there. Flag goes flying. And that was number 7, Ethan Richardson, with the carry. Picked up about 2 yards, but the Cardinals are going backwards here. Still waiting on the official call from the head official. But everything's indicating it is against Farmington. Will be a block in the back by the Cardinals. So they get backed up here. Backed up 10 yards.
In the basically exact same place we were in the play previous.
Yep.
So
it will be 1st and 20 from the 42-yard line of Farmington. They're sticking with that 2-back formation. Fakes the handoff. Lester, he's going deep up the middle, and great job breaking that up. Fantastic. Trying to see the jersey number from here. He was looking for his receiver, Brady Richards, but a great read. That's Hakeem Frampton right there, the superstar all-around player.
And I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen a throwing mechanic like Lester has. He kind of almost sidearms that a little bit.
He's got that slinger motion, absolutely. Of course, it works for him, but, if Frampton was not there in coverage, that's a touchdown for sure.
Open green grass.
2nd and 20, man in motion. Lester back. Patterson, it's a screen play. Got it out to his receiver. Not much there. Got back to the line. Oh, he kept going. I didn't even notice that. But a big last-second push by Jordan Logue.
I thought Dominio Patterson was going to get there, too.
I thought he did, too. Again, you see, of course, Lester obviously is a great runner, but he is 5'11", 170. And against Dominio Patterson, that is I'd probably wet myself if I was in his shoes right there. I'd definitely be running, but it will be 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 to be exact.
These are the plays that kind of kill Robinson on defense, though.
Unfortunately, yeah, they do give up the big plays here and there.
You just have to cover the middle of the field here.
Empty backfield for the Cardinals, man in motion. And we're going to have a timeout. Oh, it's going to be a delay of game on the Cardinals. So what was already 3rd and long is even longer now. 3rd and 20 with 9:17 left to play in the quarter. And something that Coach Updegrove talked about with us in the pregame show is Lester, as great of a runner as he is wearing a brace on that left leg, so that is something to keep an eye on. Obviously, he's already gotten a big run tonight, but we'll see how many runs he'll be able to come away with. 3rd and 20, 8 minutes, 55 seconds left to go. Lester steps up, throwing sideline, caught, but not a first down. Is it complete? They do say it's complete. He got it out to his man, Keaton. It's still going to be 4th down, but now they're in Senator territory, and they're kind of in no man's land. They don't want to punt, but it's too far for a field goal, so they're going to have to go for it on 4th and 6.
This could be a very big stop early on in this game.
2 receivers either side. Plenty of time on the play clock, 15. Lester looking right. Got it out. Oh, too far. Overthrew his man off behind him. He was looking for Keaton, and now that is a turnover on downs. Senator football.
And that is really good field positioning as well, just right next to the 50-yard line. They're going to be able to hopefully get into Cardinal territory very early on in this drive.
We'll take another look at that replay. He had his man Keaton. That could have been a first down, but just behind him there, it was still solid coverage by the Senators. It is hard to squeeze it in there in that tight coverage.
And who do you think this goes to, Chris?
I'd be willing to bet my house and your house that it's going to go to Deuce Williams. Man in motion is Frampton. Oh, we won some money. Deuce Williams up the middle, got about 3 or 4 yards. Again, Deuce Williams, according to Coach Updegrove, has been banged up the last several weeks. Of course, he's still game ready. He's a fighter for sure. And as he said that Deuce was raised right. Of course, his dad, an all-pro NFL player, one of the best players in the history of the Minnesota Vikings, part of their Ring of Honor. So you better believe he's a tough guy. Simpson outside. Oh, almost. It was read perfectly there. That is Nate Bullion, the senior corner, read that play like a book. Could not come away with the interception. That would have been a house call.
That would have been a house call, yeah. I mean, that's very lucky indeed for Reese Simpson there. Now, it was just a very good read. You can't really blame anybody on the offensive end. That's just a very good read by Farmington there.
But I will notice, I mean, that was clearly film session right there.
Yeah.
I mean, the Senators, typically their first pass is a screen to the outside. So that was a good setup. It's going to be a toss to Frampton. He's waiting for blockers. He got maybe a yard, but nothing ever really developed. The Cardinals hyped up there, and it's going to be 4th down for Robinson. Let's see what they do here.
I think you go ahead and punt.
Yeah, they're going to punt the football. Don't need to do anything too risky, especially with the score still at 0-0. So back to receive is Dawson Keaton for the Cardinals. Tate set to punt this football away. It's a high snap. He gets it away.
And that's going to be a flag.
He hit the punter. They downed it around the 21, but Tate got hit.
And that's going to be the ball back in the Senators' hands. High snap actually kind of gave that to him. Isn't that how that works? I'm not tripping.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, because yeah, that's what I thought.
That's
Because Reese
right.
Simpson was putting his helmet on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the Senators suddenly get the football back, take another look at it, and yep, you could see right as it went off the screen, he got collided with well after he had punted the football away.
And being given that opportunity, you need to capitalize.
And tough play by Tate. It's never easy to absorb because, you know, like quarterbacks, kickers and punters really do not have that much in the way of padding. So that hit is 10 times rougher for them compared to a running back or a lineman. So 3 receivers to the near side. It's Brown, Warrior Benson, and Frampton. Deuce Williams is the running back. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Hand off to Deuce up the middle, and he got about maybe 3 yards right there. Not a lot opening up at the second level.
Already a half of football, or a half of a quarter played.
Yeah, exactly. We're at 5:56 left to play in the first quarter. Simpson hands it off again to Williams. He's bouncing out to the outside, cuts inside, and I think he's got enough for a UAMS first down. Oh, we do have a flag, though. It's down the left hash mark around the 39.
I think it's against the Senators.
Yeah, based off the body language. No official ruling. Take a look at the white hat right there in the middle. The officials still having a conversation here. I mean, obviously, I know we don't know who it's going to be against. Not sure if it was a holding block in the back or even a face mask. Well, it is looking like it's against the Senators.
I'm confused as to what.
So that's interesting. So we'll be 1st and 10. Well, not 1st and 10. I don't know why the official said 1st and 10.
It is 1st and 10, apparently. I'm not really sure what that was about.
I don't understand. It says the chain gang hadn't caught up. Okay, it's 1st and 10, so Senators don't lose that many yards, but they're back to their own 51. 1st down and 10. Again, not really sure what that call was. And that play read beautifully by the Cardinals. Looking outside, of course, to Warrior Benson. Usually he can make a big play out of that. But Kingston London, the senior
those
corner.
Numbers, man.
I know, it's those double numbers. Yep, London blew that play up.
But, yeah, I mean, you see that play a lot through Warrior Benson, right? A lot of times get that very easy pass, and he can normally break a tackle or two, but Farmington is very well coached.
Of course, Tommy Tice, his 2nd season as the head coach of the Cardinals. Oh, interesting formation. We're going into Wildcat. It's Deuce Williams. Deuce waiting for the blockers. Oh, big play right here. Deuce Williams off the left sideline. He pushed out of bounds, but a UAMS first down. Big-time play for the Senators.
Yeah, I mean, that's a surprising Wildcat. Now, I'm almost kind of tired of Wildcat formations after last week. Wait, was that? Yeah, it was last week. Very tired of it, but it works out, especially with a player like Deuce Williams. He's able to find a little bit of space and get the first down.
So Simpson goes right back to his quarterback spot. 2 receivers on the near side. Hand off to Deuce, following the extra blockers. He's got a lot of room to run. And he gets taken down. Well,
no, he's still going.
Actually, but he's inside the 15, around the 14.
And that's a dangerous tackle for Deuce Williams to take right there.
Yeah, he jumped up in the air and was grabbed by his leg. But he's up. And not hobbling or anything, so that's a good sign. But the Senators with another UAMS first down. That is just the advantage you have when Deuce Williams is your bell cow.
And gets going. And I don't think I've ever seen a running back gain momentum for himself like Deuce Williams does. If he gets a big run, he starts to feel it after that. He starts to find answers for himself.
Fakes the toss. Oh, the ball's loose. I think the Cardinals may have gotten on top of it.
Yeah.
That was the first time we've seen that play. I think that was a fake toss to Deuce. Yep.
I think that was a little too animated by Reese Simpson almost, if that makes any sense at all. So we'll probably see a replay here in just a moment.
Yeah, to see what went wrong, let's take a look at it. And I'm pretty sure that was Trey Petty he was trying to hand it off to in a two-back situation, and it just did not work. And the Cardinals will have the football inside their own 20, but they have 3:45 left to work with in this quarter. Still a scoreless ball game, which is really hard to say. I mean, at least they're not down.
No.
But don't usually see the Senators with a goose egg, not even through one full quarter. Run up the middle, gets stopped immediately.
Absolutely nothing there.
Of course, the run game may not work too terribly much tonight against the Senators. I mean, Dominio Patterson was right in the middle of it all. Two-back formation again. Fakes the handoff. Lester looking to take off. He doesn't have a lot of room to run, but Dominio Patterson says, here's a hug, and brings him to the ground.
I mean, he gets very close to the first down, about third and 3? Is that what that is?
I will notice, this is the advantage we have that you guys can't see. We're seeing a couple scouts right in front of me, Northwestern Missouri State. Now, that is... Obviously, they are a D2 powerhouse. Jackson Redmond is already committed to them. I'd be curious. I want to say they've offered Deuce. I'm not 100% sure, but...
Probably should have already if they haven't.
I'm sure, yeah. And outside, he got it to Johnson, but tracked down, but not before picking up a UAMS first down.
And that's kind of what Farmington is very, very good at. We've obviously talked about the passing, but their movement from their receivers is very, very good, and you have to be able to keep up with them pound for pound every play.
Yeah, they have a lot of speed threats between Richards, Keaton, and Johnson. Of course, that was Johnson right there. All of them have multiple college offers. That's never something you want to see if you're a defensive back against a guy that's going to be probably next year. He's going to be playing on Saturdays. Handoff again to Richardson. He got a good push there. Did he get the first down? I think he came up just short.
They're going to try and hurry up the offense.
Yeah, they're going to hurry it up here. It's going to be 2nd and inches. Senators need to get set up. I imagine it might be another run. Back to Richardson, and yep, they're going to get the first down and maybe a yard or two more.
I think Farmington got away with a hold or two around there. But you know what? I like that. I like when a team can get away with a little bit of extra.
Well, I'd prefer it if it was Robinson getting away with it. No, I'm just kidding. Handoff again to Richardson. The run suddenly working like a charm. I think they came up just short again.
Third and inches. Farmington lines up. It's probably going to be another run here. It's exactly what it is, because suddenly that is working. He finds a little bit of open room. It's almost open green grass there. Robinson able to come up with the stop. But this hurry-up offense is really working for the Cardinals' offense right now. 1st and 10 in Robinson territory. Under a minute to go.
Inside Senator territory, handoff again to Richardson off the right side. He cuts back, doesn't get a whole lot there, maybe 2 yards by the running back.
And I think I know why this is suddenly working, because it's basically choose your poison on the defensive end. Do you want to bulk up your secondary, or do you want to bulk up your defensive line? And I think that they're kind of choosing the secondary, which is not a bad idea. But again, I think it's just choose your poison as the time's going to tick off the clock here. Into the first quarter, 2 goose eggs on the board.
Yeah, like you said, they usually just run a 2 linebacker system with 4 defensive linemen, and everybody else is, of course, a member of the secondary. But while we have a second, a parent came up to us, and, of course, we talked to Coach Updegrove about this, but one guy that, if he didn't graduate early, would be playing here tonight, and if he was playing tonight in this season, Robinson already has the best linebacker core in the state, but they'd have the best 3 linebackers in the state, because Corey Crusterson was a phenomenal linebacker last year. And so we want to honor that truly exceptional young man from the community. Although Corey Crusterson, of course, he graduated last year early, but he would have graduated with the class of 2026, and he has graduated from the Army boot camp at Fort Benning, Georgia today. So congratulations, Corey. Now, this is from Coach Updegrove and from the Senator family. While we miss seeing him on the field tonight, his dedication and sacrifice are a testament to his character and commitment. Thank you for being a Senator, and we salute him and wish him all the best as he serves our nation. Thank you for your bravery and commitment, Corey.
And he is in chat right now as well.
Hey, what's up, Corey? Oh, it's good to see. That was a guy that when I didn't see him on the roster, I was like, what? No. But, of course, he is, of course, serving our nation. So thank you so much, Corey. And you were a phenomenal Senator. I wish I called your name even more last season, but glad to see you're moving on and you're doing some great things with your life and your career. And hopefully now that you're watching us from wherever you're watching us from, you can see your Senators get a playoff win tonight. Of course, it's a tough one, 0-0, second and long, as Lester maneuvers his way up the middle, gets a yard. They're going to give him a yard and a half right there, so we'll come up 3rd and 7 for the Cardinal offense. Josiah Warrior Benson comes out there as a speedy defensive end. Of course, is a great UCA commit at that wide receiver spot. I know, I'm stuttering. Believe it or not. Shotgun formation for the Cardinals. Huge 3rd down right here. Lester looking left. Now looks right. He's under pressure. Flags go flying, but he somehow gets away. Lester, big hit. Ball comes free. I think he's down, though, but there is a flag. He did not get the 1st down. If it stands, we will see what that penalty is. It's all the way back near the Cardinal sideline.
And they're still trying to signal like it's a...
Of course, where they marked it.
What?
It was a sideline warning against who?
I think Farmington, because the flag did come from the other end.
Yep, so they're going to give him the 1st? No.
It is a sideline warning, though.
No, I know, but I'm saying that was not a 1st down.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it was either.
Man, all right. We'll be 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Lester took a big shot. Norwood, not known as a tackler, but he laid the boom right there. Handoff to the running back. Doesn't get but maybe about 3 or 4 yards. That was number 7, Ethan Richardson. Whereas Richardson and Logue have both been running the football effectively tonight. So exactly what we thought we wouldn't see a whole lot of running, but we're going to see a little bit of passing. Lester's got a lot of time. Sliding catch made. by Johnson.
Now, I'm not sure who was on that coverage, but he was following the route, and then the scramble came through, and it kind of forced the route to go a little erratic, and he wasn't able to catch up.
Three receivers on the near side, one on the far side. One running back to the left of Lester, the quarterback. Lester looking under some pressure, going deep. He overthrew his man. Oh, that's a late flag by the official.
By one that wasn't over there either.
He was on the back side of the end zone. Senator fans very unhappy.
If it was going to be anybody, it was going to be the one right next to the play.
And, of course, it will be on the Senators. So we'll be half the distance to the goal. Senator fans voicing their opinion right now. Yeah, that's an interesting call for sure. Back to the same formation. Lowe, the running back to the left of his quarterback, Lester. Lester looking to his running back. He's open. Did he get in? No, he did not. He was just short, right at the 1 yard line as he was diving to the end zone. The Senators going quick here to set up. Oh, this is an interesting formation by the Cardinals. No Lester on the field at quarterback. They go for the sneak, and I believe they're in.
It is going to be through.
It's going to be a touchdown by the Cardinals. So they strike first tonight.
I did watch that security fall down on that last play, by the way. I don't know if you saw that on the far,
no, I didn't.
On the far sideline. He fell down quick.
And if I'm not mistaken, that might have been number 10, Slade Norwood, who snuck it in. I'm not 100% sure, could not see that number, but that, for those of you based out of Northwest Arkansas, that Norwood name, as we're about to have a First Community Bank extra point attempt. Snap, hold.
Woo! That thing's flying.
Oh, there's a flag down. We do have a Senator down on the ground. I don't think we've actually had a ruling. Did we have a signal that it was a made extra point?
I don't think we ever did.
I'm not 100% sure. Not sure what this penalty is, as that one went through the uprights. But Norwood was a great quarterback at Greenland High School last year. 35 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Okay, no flags. Okay, well, I'm not an expert on how defensive linemen or offensive linemen are supposed to be set up, because he said something about a 3-point stance. I didn't know that you could do a 3-point stance in some situations and you can't do it in others. I don't think you can see that on the replay.
No.
I don't know. But anyway, the Cardinals with the early 7-0 lead here with 10:07 left to play in the first half. They're about to kick off here. Have not seen that Senator offense in a while.
It was a very long drive.
It was a long drive in between the first and second quarters after the fumble off the bad handoff between Simpson and his running back. I think that was Petty. But Frampton, it looks like that maybe even be Tank Reese are back there to return. And Braden Conrad, who nailed the extra point, he's going to kick it off here. It's going to be a short kick.
It didn't go 10 yards,
It did not go 10 yards. So even though I think the Cardinals might have gotten it.
It's offsides, actually.
Yeah. So they'll have to re-kick it here. Let's see if they try to go for another onside or if they just try to boot it to the back of the end zone, which even harder now, back to the 35. But now the Senators on high alert at the possibility of an onside kick. .10:01 left to play in the second quarter. The Cardinal band blaring. It is going to be a deeper kick. Will be up over Reese's head. Go get the football. It did not go into the end zone. He's got to do something with it.
That's crazy that just happened.
That would have been, that was a great bounce by Conrad's kick. So now the Senators will have the football at the 2-yard line. In a situation like that, you got to have at least one person back.
Yeah.
Deep, in case something like that happens.
The bounce was perfect, though.
I think Reese really expected it to just keep on bouncing into the end zone, but
glad he turned around.
I know that would have been a touchdown for sure by the Cardinals. So Deuce Williams remains in at the running back spot. One receiver either side. It's Frampton on the far side, Warrior Benson on the near side. Extra blockers up front for the Senators. Handoff straight away to Deuce. He spins out of one tackle. It takes about 5 to finally get him down. Of course, Deuce Williams and Tank Reese are going to hopefully add another college offer this weekend. They're, from what Coach Updegrove told us, they're taking a visit to Stephen F. Austin.
Yup.
Pretty solid FCS school out of Texas. And I think they're actually maybe one of the best FCS schools in the nation. I'm not 100% sure this year since UCA hadn't been doing very well. I haven't been keeping up with them. But Deuce Williams trying to break away. Got the UAMS first and quite a bit more. That's what the Senators needed, getting some much-needed breathing room.
Yeah, and that's what he's best at, is kind of giving a little bit of patience behind his running, and it works out in his favor. He gets, I believe, about 20 yards on that carry.
Hand off again to Deuce. He's patient. He's going to cut through. Big time hole. Open up. Down to the 45, the 40. Pushes a man. He's out of bounds. Huge run by the senior superstar.
And as I said, he's very good at creating his own momentum. He gets a good run just before this one. He started at about the 20-yard line and takes it all the way to the opposite 39. Getting a little bit of momentum behind his heels.
I'm sure Deuce needs to catch his breath after two big-time runs like that. Two receivers on the far side, one on the near side. Ball at the 39 of the Cardinals. Simpson. Over the middle, he got it to Brown, and I think he's got enough for a UAMS first.
Yeah, they are going to call that a first down.
Cardinals wanted a flag off a potential hold, did not get it, and the Senators are ready to go again. Number 3, Brown, only had 2 catches last week, but it got his first here in the second quarter. He's on the near side. Frampton goes in motion. Handoff to Deuce. Deuce, up the middle. Deuce, you're not going to catch him. Deuce, touchdown. Touchdown, Senators. They're on the board.
Deuce Williams with another opening touchdown for the Robinson Senators. He'll turn it into 6-7. But creates again and again. He does it over and over and over again. Stop laughing beside me.
6-7 is the score for now. 8:50 left to play. William Tate on to attempt the first Community Bank point after. Campos to hold. Snap, hold, good, kick. It's good. Your score is tied at 7 apiece. The Senators and the Cardinals in quarterfinal playoff battle right now. Will, this is already, that was a fantastic drive, but you cannot do anything without Deuce Williams.
Yeah, I mean, he was the benefactor of that entire drive. He was that drive, right? We only saw one play other than him, and it was a pass over to Braylon Brown through the middle. Gets him, I believe, about 6 yards. But, I mean, the rest of – I mean, that was from what? They started at the 2-yard line.
That was a 98-yard drive.
And I believe,
they completed 5 plays?
94 of those were Deuce. I think if I'm doing my math right, that was all Deuce. So, very well done. And
92.
If it was from the 90.
If you said it was a 6-yard catch
okay, then
by Brown.
I misspoke. But, yes, that should be about right. But, I mean, that's –
buddy, your mom's a teacher.
She teaches English, buddy. But I mean, my brother's really, really good at math. Though.
Okay.
But I mean, that is a Deuce Williams masterclass, is what that is, and we haven't seen the last of him in this game.
Tate ready to kick it off right here. Of course, always keep in mind the short kicks. Won't be a short one. It's going to boom. Goes down. Now that
went in the end zone.
That's the bounce that the Senators were hoping previously. Of course, you could say that Tank Reese just meant to do that all along. He's like, we're going to score. Might as well.
Give Deuce the opportunity.
Let's make it really difficult. How about that? And I'm pretty sure Deuce Williams already up over, as you can see, that big-time touchdown run by Deuce. I'm pretty sure he's already up over 100 rushing yards tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
yes.
I think he is. He had a big run in the first quarter. So, yeah, I mean, huge contribution so far this evening for Kevin Deuce Williams Jr.
And I think if you're the defense, right, if you're the coaching staff, you want to stop here. You don't want to allow him to score and be like, okay, we'll respond on the next drive. No, you want a stop here. You have momentum now. Now show it. Show why that momentum is so important in a high school playoff game.
Shotgun formation. Lester looking to right. Lester got it out to his man Keaton. Keaton tripped up, spun, but could not get much farther. And he got about 3 yards, maybe 2 on the reception, and we have a Senator down on the field. If I'm not mistaken, that's Kalen Norwood. He came in to try to make the tackle after Keaton was trying to spin. And I'm not sure if he collided with Keaton or a teammate or something, but he's being checked out by the trainers right now. But we're going to, while they take a look at the freshmen, we're going to take a break right here. 7-all is your score with 8:37 left to play in the first half.
House, it's a home, and it's part of the neighborhood, and of course part of the community. And you want to build stuff that they'll take pride in.
Well, that's where they're making their memories.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where they're raising their families.
Without the bank getting us to that next step, we can't do it.
It's nice to be able to call someone at the bank and say, hey, you've worked with us for all these years. This is what we're thinking about doing. Can we pull the trigger on this today? Oh, my stars. It is just so much easier to bank with First Community.
I'm all right. Ooh. 7-all is the score. 8:30 left to play in the second quarter. Man in motion is Keaton. Lester looks left. He rolls out to the left and got it to his man. Makes 2 Senators miss, but couldn't get past Redmond. What a move by Aiken Johnson. Not only can these guys catch the football, but they can make plays after the catch. They're going quick here. Handoff this time to the running back, and that's Logue, and he doesn't get a whole lot going for him.
And I'm starting to notice, I don't know if you've noticed this, but any time that they're doing this quick offense, this get it out within the first 10 seconds of the play clock, they're rushing the ball every time because I think Robinson's kind of on their heels every time.
But as you can tell, they're still set up. They're prepared for passes, so it's good thinking. Richardson now, actually, that's Logue. Big play by Logue, but he's finally pushed out of bounds around the 37-yard line into Senator territory for a UAMS first down.
And that's what they're most dangerous at is just so far every receiver that Lester has found has just had an open field, and just so happens to be that they get tackled a little early. That one doesn't turn out quite as lucky.
Lester had time, got it out to his running back again. He's got another first down, I think. They might have marked him short. Yeah, I think he's going to come in short right there. It will be 2nd and 1. But Logue picking up some big chunks of yards right now. Of course, they send Richardson out there. We're going to have another 2-back situation. Still the same 3 receivers. Richards, which we haven't seen him a lot tonight. Hope we still don't. Keaton and Johnson. Lester over the middle, got it to Richards. Of course, I shouldn't have even mentioned his name. A UAMS first down to Brady Richards, the senior receiver.
And I'm a little confused what's happening in the middle of the field. It seems that every single time that maybe Lester's going to get pressured quickly, there's just an open man in the middle of the field. I don't know if there's some sort of miscommunication or what's going on, but I'm sure you probably see the same thing, Chris.
Absolutely. I mean, that's happened twice now, I think, on this drive. Lester, keep an eye on number 1. He's going to step up, and he gets away somehow. He's not down yet, into the end zone for the touchdown. Brady Lester, what a run by the quarterback, and the Cardinals take the lead.
I cannot believe he stayed up that long, but we're used to seeing that through Deuce Williams, so I get it. But as a quarterback, that's very, very difficult to do.
And no wonder why this guy's gotten offers to play at the next level. Not exactly the biggest schools are after him, as we're about to have a First Community Bank point after attempt, but Kansas Wesleyan and Bethel College have both offered them. Both love to get the under-recruited Arkansas kids, and almost that was a sky of a extra point, but it's good. And the Cardinals with the 1 touchdown lead, 14-7 with 6:42 remaining. And while we have a quick break in the action, let's hear from one of our sponsors. When orthopedic injuries happen, get expert care now. At UAMS Health Ortho Now, we provide fast, convenient care for all of your orthopedic needs, from sports injuries to joint pain and beyond. No appointment is needed. Walk in for immediate care, get on-site x-rays, and see the best in orthopedic care all in one place. Ortho Now is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon, conveniently located at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. Don't wait in pain. Walk in today. For more information, call 501-686-TOSH. That's 501-686-8674. And, Will, I was just thinking about it. You know, obviously all those passes up the middle. Of course, that big-time run up the middle by Aiden Lester to put the Cardinals up wouldn't have happened if Corey Crusterson was still playing and they could run that 3-linebacker formation. But the Senators, let's see if they can respond with 6:42 remaining in the second quarter. Conran, will he kick it deep or will it be an onside? We shall see. He'll kick it deep. Don't let it bounce this time. All right, he'll let it go into the end zone for the touchback, and the Senators will have the football at the 20.
And he did follow that all the way to the 1-yard line that time, making sure that it didn't bounce back on him.
Both teams coming off of really hotly contested first-round games. Well, I say hotly contested. Farmington beat up on a historically difficult team to deal with, Harding Academy, in the first round. Beat them 44-0 at home. And then, of course, the Senators had a tough one against Camden Fairview last week, but were able to come away with the 11-point victory. Simpson. Here's Deuce. Deuce up the left side, and he's tracked. Yeah, it was a great tackle there. But number 14, Bryce Thompson, the senior safety. So he got about 5 yards on the pickup. Frampton and Brown, the receivers on the far side. Warrior Benson, the receiver on the near side. Farmington flinches, no flags. Still 2nd and 5. 6 minutes left to play in the half. Hand off again to Williams. Deuce off the right side. Deuce got a lot of room to work with. Deuce cuts back. Big time block by Warrior Benson. He's tracked down into Farmington territory. Gosh dang, I can't say it. But down to the 37, 38-yard line.
And with as good of a run as that was, Deuce was mad that he couldn't go farther. Honestly, another really good tackle by Farmington there, but, I mean, he had open grass if he breaks that last tackle.
I like how you say every tackle against Deuce Williams is a good tackle.
I mean, but in this case it is.
Exactly. No, you're right, because usually those tackles, the first time around, do not bring him down. 3 receivers on the far side. 5:34 left to play in the half, and we're going to have a timeout. Timeout for what?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. We'll take another look at that big Deuce Williams run. He had to cut back to that left side. Look at Warrior Benson. Good block there. Eventually tracked down, but not before picking up about 40 yards on that. He's probably already almost at 200 rushing yards tonight.
Apparently the chains broke. That's what it was.
Oh, interesting. Never heard that happen before.
Shout out to Ryan in chat for pointing that out.
Ryan comes up clutch every week. I mean, he might as well be in the booth with us. There's always that one guy that's like the former official that just tells you everything that.
Former player at that, though.
Yeah. Simpson. Oh, and he falls. I think he fumbled the football briefly, and he fell right on top of it as he was under a lot of pressure there. It looked like that was number 46, Wiley Stoltz, the senior defensive end that was on top of him early. So we'll be 2nd and 17 with 5:09 left to play in the half. Hand off to Deuce. Waiting for his line to block, and Farmington were all over him. 2 yards picked up.
Now, something that I've talked a little bit about, but probably not enough, is how good this blocking is for Deuce Williams on a lot of these runs. Obviously, the lane that he had closed up very, very quickly, so props to Farmington there, but the blocking on the O-line for Robinson has been very good throughout the year, and it's really opened up what Deuce can do throughout these games.
3rd and long. Simpson, he's got a lot of time. He's going to roll out right and got his man. That's Warrior Benson. They're short of the first down. Line to go. But we know the Senators, they're going to go for it right here. It is 4th and 4. Warrior Benson comes off the field. Braylon Brown comes on. So Frampton and Brown are the 2 receivers. Campos and Redmond in there as extra blockers. Farmington set up, ready to play some defense, ready for that run, but they're going to take the timeout. First timeout call by the Cardinals this ball game. So they're going to take a look at it here. But I'm curious what you think, Will. It's 4th and 4. I think what the ESPN analytics always say, like 4th and 3, go. What do you do here? The run has been working so well, but they know that's a real possibility. Or do you get it out to those big-time playmakers?
I think the idea, we've seen Braylon Brown in a lot of these, in a lot of these, Bryson Brown. I said Braylon.
It is Braylon Brown.
It is Braylon. Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking
I'm thinking of our Bryson.
Hey,
but
shout out, Bryson.
a lot of times you see Braylon Brown on in this case, this near side, and he's able to gain a couple extra yards off of contact. So that might be what they're trying to figure out here, but wouldn't surprise me if it just goes to Deuce, as long as you can just bulk up the offensive line a little bit and allow Deuce to just get 4 yards. That's all you need here. And they're going to try and rush it as well.
It's empty set as of now. Simpson. And I think Cardinals might have called a timeout. Actually, I'm not exactly sure who called the timeout. Oh, it's going to be Senators called the timeout right there. They were ready to go, but it might have been they were wanting to see what that Farmington defense looked like. Time will reset to 4 minutes even. Still 4th and 4. Quarterfinals at the Charlie George Stadium in Little Rock. And while we have a second, let's take a look at the bracket just real quick here. Of course, if whoever wins tonight will play the winner of Hot Springs and Morrilton. Those two teams Morrilton had a shootout last week against Nettleton. Hot Springs had a tight one against BB, so that will be an interesting game to keep an eye on.
It looks like a wildcat formation here.
And this looks like Deuce Williams. Deuce set to run. He's got it. He's got the first down and a lot more. Deuce is going to keep going. Deuce cuts back. A touchdown!
Yes, sir!
Touchdown by the Senators!
I said all they needed was 4, but Deuce Williams is going to take that and go all the way into the golden grass. Deuce Williams' second touchdown on the night. I don't think he's over either.
Deuce for Deuce. How about 6? You need 4, I'll get you 6. Tate on to attempt the first Community Bank point after attempt. Oh, an interesting, different holder. Kyron Grimes comes in as the holder. Lennox Campos had to leave the field for some reason. Let's see if this plays a factor. Nope, it does not. It is up and through for the accurate William Tate. This ball game is tied at 14 apiece. What a game. Take a look at it. I thought Farmington had him hemmed in. Nope. You do not hem in Deuce Williams. No such thing.
There is no such thing as a Deuce Williams stopper, I think.
No.
You know, we thought that was a thing at Searcy, and then he turned up in the second half. So I'm not sure that there's such thing as a Deuce Williams stopper.
And Mason Ball in that Jacksonville game, he tried it. He did not succeed. So Tate set to kick off here for the Senators. But what an atmosphere here tonight. Of course, Charlie George Stadium is packed on both sides. Farmington traveled great. They're coming about 3 hours away and still traveled great. But, of course, your Senator fan base packed as usual. 2 Cardinals back to receive. Tate ready to kick it deep. It will be returnable. And not much going right there for Scales or Miller. I think that may be Cameron Miller on the return right there. And he got it down to the 24. So 14-yard return for the Cardinals. Aiden Lester and company scored off that last drive. Now they have 3:44 to work with. Of course, with a dynamic passing offense, that is plenty of time.
And this would be a great time for a stop by the defense, who, 14 points on the board, obviously 14 points on the board this early or this late in the first half against a Farmington team is pretty good, but let's be honest, it hasn't looked as good as it has been all year.
Lester, he's got time. Now he's under pressure. Over the middle. Richards,
wow.
What a grab. What a grab. Updergrove saying that's incomplete. He thinks the ball hit the ground. If we had instant replay, we could definitely see that from all angles, but that is enough for a UAMS first down. Of course, we have replay. I don't know. I don't think we'll have, of course, actually, we're about ready to get going here. Shotgun formation again for the Cardinals. Logue, the running back, to the right of his quarterback, Lester. From the 38, Senators. 4-man rush. It's a deep ball to the sideline. Incomplete.
Not catchable.
Nope. And I think there was a wrong route right there. But take a look at that replay. Here's Lester getting Richards over the middle there.
It's possible that it was hit the ground, but a little too close.
We don't have that angle. 4-man rush, but Tank Reese showing blitz along with Redmond. Oh, Redmond jumped. Yeah, he got across the neutral zone. Come on. 2nd and 10. It's going to turn into an instant first down. Or, excuse me, will remain second down. My bad. Will be 2nd and 5. 3:10 left in the half. J.J. Moore and Aiken Johnson, the receivers on the left side. Richards and Keaton, the receivers on the right side. Lester changing formation here. He's got 5 seconds on the play clock. He's got to go. Lester looking left, looking to his man. He got it complete, but down. That was J.J. Moore on the reception. Big-time tackle by, looks like Jayden Todd out there on the right side, on that far side.
We've said Jayden Todd's name a lot this year as well.
He's had a phenomenal season, and he really hasn't played a lot of offense this year, but they haven't needed him to play a lot of offense this year. Has 58 tackles coming into this game, along with 5 pass breakups, couple forced fumbles. Phenomenal year for a rising star. 2-back formation, 3rd and 5. Lester, back, over the middle, got it to Richards. Wide open once again, brought down about the 38-yard line, but will you keep talking about it? They are getting these receivers wide open over the middle of the field, and the Senators can't do anything about it.
And that's been a problem all year as well. This is not just a Farmington issue. I'm not sure how to fix it, really.
Lester under complete and total pressure, and he's down. He might have gotten him right back to the line of scrimmage, but no gain. I don't know if you call that a sack. That was Campos. If that is a sack, that is his 11th sack of the season. Huge year for the senior defensive end. Rich Updegrove talked to us. He wants to see him play some college football like his brother Julian playing football, Southern Nazarene in Oklahoma. 2nd and 10. Lester steps up. He's got some time. He's going to take off himself and crunch. Ball's free. Ball's free. I think Lester may have gotten back on top of it.
Senators are talking about that it's going the other way.
Let's see what the official ruling is. Who's got it? Who's got the football? Senators say they have it. Who do the officials say? Senator
way!
Football. Senator football, baby!
And that was very dangerous of Lester to do as well. It looked like he wanted to slide, and then he decided, I'm not going to do that quite yet. On this replay, I'm sure you'll see it. It looked like he wanted to.
As a quarterback, when you go and take off to run, he's still holding the ball with one hand, and yep, that was a big-time forced fumble. I don't know if that was Redmond or one of the DBs that forced that fumble, but a big-time play for the Senators. They have 137 to work with. So
and also remember that Robinson has the ball to start the second half as well.
It would be lovely if they could get a quick score right here from the 34-yard line. Hand off to Deuce. Deuce makes a man miss. Deuce Williams, oh my goodness, big time pickup. UAMS first down to the 50. You wouldn't believe it, that guy's playing injured.
And Robinson has 2 timeouts to work with here.
Absolutely, 1:32 is the time. Now we're going down to 1:30. Shotgun formation. Farmington showing pressure. Deuce, another first down. He's got more. He makes a man miss. These are grown man strength for the senior.
And he's hurt.
Oh, that is not good to see at all. Deuce Williams on the ground. Coaching staff immediately over there to help him.
Depending on how bad this is, I don't know if Deuce will come off the field.
He'll have to definitely take at least one play off. He's still down, I think. Yeah, he's up. But what a fighter right there. The trainer's walking him off. Got a standing ovation. He's up. He's in some pain. We'll see what happens here with him, if he's going to come back in this drive or not. But the Senators, they're in field goal range. It's definitely deep for William Tate, but we've seen him nail some long ones.
There's Tank Reese out there.
Yeah, that's right. Tank Reese got one carry last week. We'll see what he does on this drive. Farmington expecting run, and what a spin by Reese. He got hit hard.
No, I think he just slipped.
Yeah, he might have. But he got about...
surprise.
Yeah, no
Deuce
gain.
Williams on the field.
Deuce Williams is back. We'll see if he gets the football early.
Just had to take a breather.
3 receivers also out there for the Senators. They're trying to go quickly here. It's under 50 seconds. It's Deuce. Deuce stood up, fell forward. He'll get about 3 yards, and they're going to have to take the timeout here. So the Senators will use their second. They have 1 remaining. 43 seconds left to play in the second quarter. And while we have a second, let's hear from one of our sponsors. First Community Bank is proud to serve the Little Rock community. We offer personal service and expertise and a full range of financial services that meet your needs. For all of your banking needs, First Community Bank has you covered. And if you need help figuring out which product is best for your needs, our knowledgeable and friendly staff are ready to help you find the best solution for your situation. First Community Bank, where community comes first. Member FDIC. All right, Will. It's going to be 3rd and 7. Deuce Williams, iffy. He's hurt.
You say iffy. I'm not. I mean, somebody in chat saying Deuce doesn't like to not play.
That's true.
Knowing him personally, and I mean that's what we talked about with Coach Up. He doesn't. I mean, we talked about it at the beginning of the game too. Raised right doesn't. He is a competitor through and through. I think if you put him in some chess, he's going to go absolutely ballistic.
That's what he said. Of course, you got 3 star receivers on the outside to work with. Simpson, he's going to pass here. Warrior Benson's open. Let's see what it can do here. Warrior Benson goes down. The ball's free.
He was down, I think.
The Cardinals have the football. They're running up the right sideline. He's going to try to cut back, but cannot.
I think he was down. I can't believe they didn't call him down.
That was Kingston London picking up.
There's a flag on the play now, though.
Yeah, there's a 50 between the 40 and the 45. Or a flag between the 40 and the 50. Or 45, whatever.
No, he was not down. It did come out of his hands early.
Yeah, the fumble picked up by Kingston London, and now the Cardinals. They don't have a lot of time to work with. Again, the Senators do get the football to begin the second half. So it is unfortunate they couldn't at least get a field goal out of this drive, especially after some tough play from Deuce Williams. But the Cardinals, they're inside of Senator territory. Let's see what they can do with 39 seconds. Aiden Lester shows he can. So it was unsportsmanlike on Farmington. So I believe they get backed up. I'm not sure how far they're going to get backed up. The ball has not been spotted yet. But that was after they had picked up the fumble and taken it. Still no indication as to where the ball is going to be spotted. All right, now they're going to back it up. It's going to be back into Farmington territory, so it definitely hurts the chances of the Cardinals getting a quick score. Yeah, it looks like they're going to mark it around the 37-yard line of the Cardinals on that left hash, or right hash, I guess. Both teams slow to get out of their huddles. The officials ready to go. Reminder, 39 seconds left to play in the half. And when we return after the halftime break, we'll have some score updates for you. Particularly, we'll try to get that Hot Springs and Morrilton score, because that will be whoever the winner of this game gets to play next week. First and 10 from the 37. Lester looking left, looking almost complete. He was looking for J.J. Moore. No flags, even though the Cardinal fans, of course, they're going to try to call for a flag, but it was good coverage on that outside. Second and 10, 5 seconds went off the clock right there.
Very slow minute and 37, by the way.
Absolutely. That's typically what you get in a fourth quarter, but here in the second quarter, every yard, every inch is very important, especially every down right now. Second and 10, 34 seconds left to go. 4 receivers on that far side, 1 on the near side. Easy completion over the middle. It's Aiken Johnson, but he's got the UAMS first down, and he goes out of bounds, stopping the clock. A great job, great play call by the Cardinals. Now they're into Senator territory.
And they have a really good kicker, so they may just be trying to get it into field goal range at the very, very least.
4 receivers on the near side now. Lester rolling right. He's a lefty quarterback and had to throw over his body and incomplete. Was looking for Richards. That was Norwood in coverage. So about 6 seconds went off the clock right there. 20 seconds left to play in the half. It's still second and 10. Tied ball game, 14 apiece. And Deuce Williams, believe it or not, is out there on the field.
That's insane.
As the safety. We thought we wouldn't see him a lot, but he is a dynamic two-way superstar. Brilliant in coverage. And you need him every opportunity you can get. Lester. He's got time. Now he steps up. Lester ready to run. And he slides on his butt, and he's down around the 32. Clock's going to keep rolling, but Farmington's going to burn one of their timeouts. After 8 seconds went off the clock. Of course, I don't know the range that Conran, their kicker, has.
I was watching him in warm-ups. He's got some range, man.
Of course, he was an all-state kicker in 2024. And it's, as it stands, it's at the 34, right down the middle. It should be, for an all-state player, should be a chip shot, but we'll see. And I'm curious the decision to keep Deuce Williams on the defensive side of the ball, especially with him banged up in this game and how important he is on offense. You have a deep secondary. I would have thought you might have just sacrificed him not being on defense.
I'm curious if it was his decision, though.
Yeah. It sounds like it's his way or the highway. He's going on the field one way or another. But, of course, he's going to make some plays. Of course, he's a phenomenal safety. Absolutely fantastic. You definitely don't want to see him not on the field. 50 tackles this year, 3 interceptions, which 2 of them turned into touchdowns. A couple of tackles for loss as well. Senator showing pressure. Lester, empty set. Rolling left. He's got time. He's got a man to the outside. It's Keaton. About a 7-yard completion right there. 7 seconds left to go. They have time for maybe one more play. It's got to be very quick. They do have one timeout to give.
They're talking about it.
They're at the 28-yard line right now. And they're going to go for one more offensive play before they send out the field goal unit.
If they can even get the field goal unit on there.
Well, they do have that timeout. If Lester can't get his first read, he's got to check it. He's going to roll. He's going to roll. A lot of times going off the clock. And he runs out of bounds. The clock expired, but when did he go out of bounds? Now that's going to be the question. The Senator sure think he went out of bounds.
And they call it.
Too late. Did they call it? Let's see. Lester, hands on his head, shocked. The officials having a conversation.
Robinson is off the field.
Senators have just gone on. They're going to that.
Yep, they call it. Well.
Yep, they have called it. So it's halftime, folks, here at Charlie George Stadium. The Cardinals couldn't get it to go there. And now 14-14 is your score headed into half. There is so much more Senator football to watch, so don't go anywhere. We have 2 more quarters coming up here on the Robinson Sports Network, presented by UAMS Health and by First Community Bank.
Many people will experience orthopedic or spine issues in their lifetime, and the pain that goes along with that can make you feel, well, like a shadow of yourself. At the new Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health, we are dedicated to providing Arkansans with a brighter future they deserve.
Now, thanks to UAMS Health, I am dancing through life.
Choose UAMS Health for a better state of health.
It's not just a house, it's a home, and it's part of the neighborhood, and of course part of the community. And you want to build stuff that they'll take pride in.
Well, that's where they're making their memories.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where they're raising their families.
Without the bank getting us to that next step, we can't do it.
It's nice to be able to call someone at the bank and say, hey, you've worked with us for all these years. This is what we're thinking about doing. Can we pull the trigger on this today? Oh, my stars. It is just so much easier to bank with First Community.
You may have recognized that first tune. That's the music written by Michael Giacchino for the movie The Incredibles. So if you recognize that, you may have heard that in that animated film. Our next tune that we're going to play for you is a Christmas tune. I know, Thanksgiving's not even here yet. Don't crush my Christmas joy. It can be Christmas. Our third tune is called One Day I'll Fly Away. Anybody seen that movie from 2004 called Moulin Rouge? Yes, it's a super campy movie, 10 out of 10, would recommend. This tune is called One Day I'll Fly Away. It features Harper Bennings on piano and Nathan Rodacher on alto saxophone. Here's One Day I'll Fly Away. New Orleans jazz style tune that everybody will know. Here's just a really fun arrangement of When the Saints Go Marching In.
And welcome back to the Robinson Sports Network, presented by UMS Health and by First Community Bank. About 5 minutes before we have kickoff here for the second half, and I will go ahead and, go for it. First of all, that was a great band performance by that Senator Sound, and hopefully this is not their last time performing at Charlie George Stadium or performing in a football game this season. But let's take a look at some of the playoff scores we have. Most of the other games are coming out of half. But if you look on this side of the bracket, Hot Springs and Morrilton, that's a good game. As the last time we checked, Hot Springs had the 20-13 lead over the Morrilton Devil Dogs. Then Harrison and Parkview is another good game. Believe it or not, the 4-seed Harrison Goblins have the 10-7 lead against the Parkview Patriots. And then, of course, on that other side is Greenbrier Lakeside, and that's another great game. Greenbrier with the 21-14 lead over the Rams. Of course, we saw the Rams last year in the quarterfinals, so I think some Senator fans are hoping maybe Greenbrier gets that win, but we'll see. But some other games for some of the other brackets, some of the other leagues. Sylvan Hills, of course, part of our network. They're in not as tight as they would have hoped. One against Marion. They're down 7-18 in heading into the half in the quarterfinals. And then Bryant has a 35-0 lead after one half of action against the Fayetteville Bulldogs. That is a shocker right there. And the other team that's still alive out of our network are the Mills Comets. And they're actually down by 1 point to the Bauxite Miners. That is a phenomenal game so far. A lot of talent on both sides of the field there. They have a 13-14 deficit against the Miners. But, you know, of course, during halftime and right after the band performs, both teams send out their special teams units to just get some warm-up kicks. And it was kind of controversial on that last drive by the Cardinals. They didn't try to kick a field goal with 7 seconds left. And it looked like Conran could hit from even further than where they would have been.
He was getting like 41-yard field goals that would have been good from 55. And I'm not exaggerating that. It might have been farther than that. I mean, it's a curious choice. However, it works out in the Senators' favor, which I personally can't complain about.
Nope.
But,
yeah, I mean, All-State in 2024 was nailing him right down the middle, no doubt about it here. And, of course, I'm seeing William Tate get some kicks and Grant Treader kicking from 30 as well. But so both teams have solid kickers, but I think just – again, you got to trust your kicker in that situation. And, of course, they didn't get a score out of that last drive. So if they ever come to a similar situation, let's see what will happen. But your Senators in a tight one with the Farmington Cardinals, 14-all, as we're about 2 minutes away from the start of the second half. And, Will, it has been the Deuce Williams show, but the Aiden Lester show for the Cardinals.
yeah, Aiden Lester has been everything a coach could want and more. And I mean, it's pretty crazy because we were talking before the game as well. They have an unbelievable backup quarterback. So even if Aiden Lester for some reason went down or, God forbid, has a severe injury or whatever it may be, Slade Norwood, who we've said already, is a very good quarterback at that. And, I mean, has a D1 offer already. He's a junior. He'll be the starter next year after Lester graduates this year. But, yeah, I mean, it's been Lester's show. He's been able to – a lot of these scrambling opportunities, he's been able to convert on them. He's been a little bit faster on the rushing side than you would maybe anticipate with a hurt leg. But he's been very, very good this game. It's really just been Deuce Williams versus Lester in this game.
It absolutely has been. And, of course, if you think back to what we saw in that first half for the Cardinal offense, that they had a lot. They were a passing team. That's what they are. But they mixed in the run appropriately. They got a lot of attempts from Logan Richardson, and they made some plays coming off the sides there. But we got to see a lot of passes over the middle there. But we got to see, and I was just talking about this, a lot of passes over the middle to Aiken Johnson and Brady Richards, and it just doesn't seem like they've been able to put a stop to that. And then that is almost single-handedly killed the Senators on a couple of drives.
Yeah, and a lot of it's just open. It's open in the midfield in the middle of the play. It's been very, very weird, but it's also been something that has kind of bitten Robinson in the butt all year. It's been something that has, I'm sure, been addressed, but hasn't been fixed quite yet. But if you're going to fix it at any time, it's going to be this. And you got to hope that come to Jesus meeting in the locker room just a few minutes ago is the answer to that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that is what Corey Crusterson, of course, he had spent his whole high school career with Coach Uptergrove as, I believe, the defensive coordinator. Of course, Uptergrove, it's hard to believe. Coach Uptergrove, in his first season as a head coach after spending 14 years as an assistant under Todd Escola, he's taken over, undefeated season so far. Of course, that's potentially at jeopardy, but they do get the football to open up the second half. And while we have a second, Before we get started with more football action, let's hear from one of our sponsors. Here at First Community Bank, we believe that investing in our communities provides us all with a brighter future. And it's something we've been doing since we were founded in 1997. We're proud to support the Senators and everything they do, not just because they're great athletes, but because they represent what makes a community so special. People coming together to work hard and make something amazing happen. When you bank local, everyone wins. Go Senators! First Community Bank, where community comes first. Member FDIC. And the Senators swaying here to the music. They're getting hyped up. They are ready to go for this second half.
Do you know what that's called, Chris? That's swag surfing.
That's right. That is
sir.
absolutely.
We used to do that all the time in high school.
Yep.
Makes me sound old.
Hey, I mean, the song's aged well.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's kind of sad to say anyway, but it has aged well. The student section doing the same, so everybody is ready to go here. Conran will kick off here. Of course, you got to keep an eye on the onside kicks, which he tried to do in the first half. Didn't work out, but that's still a threat.
Especially at this point.
Well, it's worked against the Senators, and of course, the Senators will get the football, hopefully. If nothing else bad happens on the special teams unit here. And Conran will boom this, but it will be returnable. Tank Reese dropped it. He's still going to try to get something out of it, and he doesn't get much. Tank Reese, I think just his first kick return of the year. And doesn't go as planned. Only got really inside the 10, I think.
Kind of bobbled it on the catch.
Yeah, just like that. The Senators will not have the best field position as they're right around the 10-yard line on that left hash.
I've read this story before, though. I've seen this movie before.
They were at the 2-yard line earlier in the second half. But after a 5-play, 98-yard drive, 92 of those yards just about came from Deuce Williams, and he'll get the handoff to open up the second half. He's waiting. He's going to bounce outside. He cuts back inside, and it doesn't get a whole lot, maybe a yard, before getting tackled. And, of course, he's been playing hurt all game long and especially the last, you'd probably say almost for the last month. But this guy is tough. And it takes more than just a hit to bring him down. Two receivers on the far side, 2nd and 9. Redmond and Campos switch to the other side. Handoff. Williams. Got a good hole, jump through. And he's about 2 or 3 yards away from the line to line the gain.
And you wouldn't be surprised if this is another handoff to him, allow him to get a little bit of momentum for himself.
3rd and 3. From the 17 of the Senators. Trying to get some more breathing room and a first down. One receiver either side. A handoff again to Deuce Williams. He's going to bounce to the left side. He's got a lot of room. Not a face mask, but he stiff arms a man, and he's got the UAMS first down. Another great run by Deuce Williams. No doubt he's at 200 rushing yards so far tonight.
Oh,
Again,
absolutely.
Would love it if we had a statistician to keep up with those numbers, because I know Deuce Williams' first half numbers week after week just would be mind-boggling. Of course, last week only had 18 carries, but had 222 rushing yards and didn't really play much in that fourth quarter. But he pushes ahead. Kind of an awkward tackle there. And, yeah, he's hurting. He's hurting. Yeah, it was an awkward tackle. I think someone grabbed him by the legs. And, again, he's been beat up quite a bit tonight. We're going to take an injury timeout, and we're going to take a timeout ourselves. 14-all is still the score with 10:20 remaining here in the third quarter of action. More Senator football after this.
Many people will experience orthopedic or spine issues in their lifetime, and the pain that goes along with that can make you feel, well, like a shadow of yourself. At the new Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health, we're dedicated to providing Arkansans with a brighter future they deserve.
Now, thanks to UAMS Health, I am dancing through life.
Choose UAMS Health for a better state of health.
And it is good to see Deuce Williams up. He's not putting any pressure on that left leg. Again, he's been hurt. Well, we're also noticing there have been several tackles that have just not been great, to say the least. And he's being helped up. It's taken him a while to get off the field, taking their time with him. But the Senators, take a look at one of his big runs. That was not the run he got injured on. That was a run he got a big first down on. And, of course, he's going to have to take several plays off. We hope he's fine. Definitely do not want to see that young man get hurt seriously. But the Senators are ready to go. Simpson ready to throw. They're going to have to use his arm. It's a deep ball downfield. And incomplete. Was looking for Hakeem Frampton. Some of the Senator fans wanting a flag. I mean, it looks suspicious. The DB putting his hand on the back of Frampton, but I don't think there was enough for a call there. But it was an ambitious call on 2nd and 1. Now it's 3rd and 1. Let's see what they do here. One receiver either side. Tank Reese is the running back. He's only got one carry tonight. He'll get one here. Tank breaks one tackle, tries to go free, and he's short. He lost a yard. It's going to be 4th and 2. The Senators are going to punt this football away as they are in Cardinal territory. So Tate out there to punt this football. Dawson Keaton back to receive. It's a better snap than in the first half. No pressure. Keaton will let this one bounce, and immediately on top of him are the Senators. Big hit. I think that may have been Jake Witten was one of the Senators in to make the stop. Of course, Keaton's hurt, but it may just be a cramp. And we're looking at the sideline right now. They're taking a look at Deuce Williams. Of course, he got hurt just a minute ago. They're taping him up. The coaches are still talking to him. You know he wants to play, but if it's going to impact his health, he needs to stay out by any means necessary. The Senator defense, they need to get a stop right now. Of course, no Deuce Williams on defense either. Kyron Grimes is back there playing safety. He's been really solid this season. Hand off to Logue, and he won't get a lot, maybe 2 yards on that run. Fisher Taylor, one of the defensive tackles, in to make the stop. Two-back formation again for the Cardinals. Senators trying to throw different formations their way. Lester out to his running back. He gets it to the line of scrimmage, and he might have been propelled forward to the first down. Are they going to mark him short? Nope, they're going to give him the first down. So it will be a UAMS first for Farmington, but they're going quickly here. Interesting formation. It's going to be handoff to the receiver.
Actually,
that's
slipped.
Yeah, he might have slipped right there, and that was Cameron Miller, the solid kind of do-it-all player, plays fullback, tight end, running back. And they're going quick once again. Senators need to get set up here. It's 2nd and 6. And not much there. Got it back to the line of scrimmage. I believe that was J.J. Moore, the wide receiver. Third and 5 for the Cardinals. You're going to slow it down a little bit here into the huddle. They're at the 40, need to get to the 44. Well, I guess it's really 4 yards they need to go. 2 receivers, far side, 1 on the near side. 2 backs again. Lester, the quarterback, looking left. He's got time. Now he's under pressure. Redmond, he's running for his life. There's a flag on the field. That pass is incomplete. He was looking for his running back, Logue. There's multiple flags on the field. One around the 46. The other one on the other side into Senator territory. Oh. Holding on the defense. So, some free yards there for the Cardinals. Definitely unfortunate because that was a 4th down that they forced, and that would have been a much-needed stop. And again, taking a look at what we can see from Deuce Williams, he's still being taped up and tended to on the sideline, sitting on the bench, and really hope he's doing all right. Going to be handoff to the running back again. Logue, he's got some room to run. Solid run, about 5 yards. Actually, they're going to give him 6 right there, the Cardinals. Going to slow it down just a second. But expect a pass right here. 2nd and 5. And flags is going to be on the Cardinals. Much needed penalty right there. Of course, Lester's trying to plead and said it was on the Senators. We'll see what the official ruling is.
I think it is going to be on the Cardinals.
Oh, no!
Well, I lied.
All right, it's going to be on the Senators. Take a look at it there. Where? He said offsides. Where was the offsides? I don't understand where that offsides penalty was. Did not understand it at all, but regardless, it will be 1st and 10 from the Senator 40. 6:50 left to play in the 3rd. 2 receivers, near side, 1 on the far side. 2 backs in the backfield. Lester sandwiched between them. Logue up the middle, and he'll get maybe 2 or 3 yards.
And I mean, honestly, some of these plays look like they should be blown up, but Robinson hasn't been able to stop them, and it's been happening on those 3rd downs a lot as well.
Shotgun formation now for the Cardinals. Logue, the running back. Let's see what they do here. It's going to be a pass. He's going deep for his man. Broken up.
And that's very good defense there.
Yeah, it was Aiken Johnson was the intended target. I believe that was Aaron McAdory in to make the play. Oh, it looks like Deuce Williams. Will's motioning. I don't see him, but he's somewhere. He's up. I must be blind. I don't see. Oh, he's up.
Come on.
He's walking around, so that's a good sign to see. He wants to be back out there. They're going to have to keep an eye on him. Be careful with him. And we're going to have stoppage and play. It's going to be a timeout by the Cardinals on 3rd and 8 with 6:08 left to play in the third quarter. Of course, Deuce getting checked out again by the trainer. Take a look at that coverage there. I believe that was McAdory making the solid defensive play. Of course, the Cardinals wanted a flag, but, I mean, I know he didn't have his head turned around, but he still made it play on the ball, I suppose. (14-14), still your score after. And we do have a notification here as to why there was that offsides penalty. There was a corner for the Senators lined up offsides. We were watching the trenches, and they were fine, but it was those corners will get you every now and then. 3rd and 8. Lester looking left, got it out to his running back, beat his man. He's going to the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown by the Cardinals. So they take the lead with 5:58 left to play in the third quarter. Unfortunate result right there. Of course, the Senators have struggled on third down, giving up big plays on third down so far this year. And that's just another one of them. Conran on to attempt the First Community Bank point after attempt. And that kick, up and good, no doubt about it. 21-14 is your score. The visiting second seed out of the West, the Farmington Cardinals on top. .558 left to play in the third quarter. The Senator offense, well, special teams out there right now. Frampton and Aaron Freeman back there to receive. Trey Petty also back there. And we don't have official word on this, but Deuce Williams still on the bench. But this could have been the last game we've seen from Deuce Williams this year.
The last play, specifically.
Depending on the outcome of this game and what the Senator offense can do. Freeman, this one's returnable. He's got some blockers, and he'll get around to the 25. It was some solid tackling by the Cardinals. So let's see what the Senator offense can do without Deuce Williams. He's still on the sideline. He's with coaches. He had been up and moving about, but he's getting a lot of hugs from coaches and teammates. So, again, no official report on him, but everything's indicating that he may not be playing, at least for the rest of this quarter. Shotgun formation. Simpson outside. That's going to be Braylon Brown, or I know it's going to be Frampton. Frampton, he may have been out a lot sooner there than when he ended up, but a solid UAMS first down pickup for the Senator passing game. Let's see if they can get some momentum there, because we all know Reese Simpson feeds off that momentum from his playmakers. So now they'll have the football at the 39. Again, that was a first down by Frampton. You can tell by the neon shoes. Of course, you can't really see, but he's on the near side alongside Warrior Benson. But Petty, their running back, he'll get the football here. And he'll get maybe about 2 yards, maybe 1 on that play. Will be 2nd and 8 with 5:25 left to play in the third quarter. Senator fans still behind their team. Frampton in motion. Simpson. It's a screenplay. And it was actually Lennox Campos who gets stopped right there. Only his 4th reception of the year. Star defensive end, but plays some tight end as well. Third and 8. 4:35 left. Simpson rolling right. He's got to cut back. They sack him. They force the fumble. Who's got the football?
I think it's Robinson came up with that.
Yeah, the Senators may have just gotten the football back, so they'll probably have to punt this football away. The Cardinals, they completely...
There is a flag on the field, though.
Oh, yeah, there is, around the left side of the Robinson logo. We'll see what that call is, but as of right now, it's 4th and long for the Senators. The punt team is on standby. But again, we will see what the official ruling is. 5 of the officials talking about it.
Going the other way.
Automatic first down for the Senators. Much needed right there. The Senators, big break. My goodness. Did you think that was going to happen right there?
I don't think so.
Tough break for the Cardinals. Much needed break for the Senators. Now 3 receivers out there for Robinson on that far side. Hand off to the running back up the middle, trying to follow the blockers, but kind of stumbled ahead for a yard. That was Petty on the carry. Hammonds made the stop for the Cardinals. 2nd and 9, plenty of time to work with. Shotgun formation. Cardinals showing pressure. Simpson changing it up here. Cardinals back off. Screen play. Oh, and Warrior Benson dropped it. He heard footsteps and couldn't come away with the reception there. Tough break, but that play was probably going to be blown up from the start. 3rd and 9. 3:42 remaining in the third quarter.
And there does seem to be a little panic that kind of in this offense. I mean, it's hard to imagine it's not because of Deuce Williams going down.
Simpson under pressure again. He's got to get rid of it, and he just had to throw it away. As he got planted in the backfield, he's slow to get up. No flags. The Cardinals are already celebrating. The Senators. It's 4th and 9. No movement from the sideline. Yep, now there is. The punt unit is headed onto the field. This is exactly what the Senators did not want to do, down 1 score here, but big responsibility now for the defense. There's no point in this game more important than now for a stop. Tate. Solid punt. It's going to be a bouncer. And Aiken Johnson will break some ankles getting past. He'll get a decent return, but he'll still be inside the 20. There's a flag down. It might be against the return team.
Aiken Johnson on the return for Farmington.
As of now, they have him marked down at the 19-yard line. No official ruling as to what the penalty is yet.
Holding on the return.
All right, we'll be holding against Farmington, so that helps out a bit. Take another look at that return. It was a bouncy punt, and I mean, it was a solid return there. Oh, yeah, that's absolutely a hold. You could kind of see in the middle of your screen. So they'll have the football at their own 9-yard line. 3:25 to work with in the third quarter. A lot of time remaining. Shotgun formation. Logue, the running back, he's had a nice evening so far. Lester looks left. He's going to take off. He's going to pass fake. He got Redmond on it, but he won't get past McAdory. But, of course, he did pick up the UAMS first down. Solid tackle by the senior from Hawaii. But he'll get it to the 25-yard line. So a 16-yard run for the senior. He's had a great night passing and a great night running the football. But, of course, this is the most important defensive possession of the ball game right now.
Absolutely. And, I mean, you have good field position as a defense.
Lester. And, very close to a pick right there, but it was a great pass breakup. Looks like that was Kalen Norwood on the stop on that outside. Just looking for Aiken Johnson, but now that will be 2nd and 10. And, frankly, that's a rare stop for the Senators in that passing game. They haven't been able to get a lot of pass breakups tonight, but
and in that case, he fell over.
Well,
so.
it had helped, and hopefully that's a good sign to come. 4-man rush. Lester steps up, working through the pocket. Redmond chasing him down. Couldn't get to him. He's still rolling into Senator territory. He goes out of bounds around the 45-yard line. Flags go flying. Not sure who it's on.
What was that about?
The flag went down around the 35 of the Senators. It was after the play was over. Not sure who it was on, if it was the Senators or the Cardinals.
There's all the plays at first down. There's a good ball. Unnecessary roughness on the defense. The player out of bounds, shove the quarterback.
And it was unnecessary roughness against Robinson, so not what you need at all. We'll take another look at it as Lester running on that right sideline. Broke one tackle, and it was after the play was over. I didn't see it. That's where the flag was. Did not see it. Do not know what that was about. But regardless, big pickup for the Cardinals. Under pressure, Lester, man, and they may, it's going to be a flag. 2 flags go flying. He didn't make a play on the ball, but that's fine. I mean, that probably would have been a touchdown by Keaton. You give up the penalty in that situation. I think that was McAdory in coverage.
Pass interference on defense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. We're going for the first down.
So 15-yard penalty. The Cardinals in scoring position now. Well into Senator territory, into the red zone. They're at the 15-yard line. Lester with the 2 backs, Richardson and Logan right to left respectfully. Senator showing pressure, and they get right to Logue, and he's down. It's a tackle for loss. for multiple players.
Lowe carries the ball up the middle for Farmington. He's met at the line by Tank Reese and Jackson Redmond. That'll be second down and 11.
Second and 11 with 1:55 left to play in the third. Another important down here. Senators desperately needing a stop. Lester rolling under pressure. Got it out to his man. That's Richards. Not close to the first down yet. Maybe got about 6 yards. They're going to say it's, well, 3rd and 5. It's the official ruling as he went out of bounds. 1:38 left in the third quarter. Tension through the air at Charlie George Stadium on a beautiful evening in Little Rock, Arkansas. A rare meeting, a first time between these two teams, at least in the postseason. Lester back to pass, throwing end zone, in and out of the hands of his receiver, was looking for Richards.
And now there's another flag.
The flag is near the line of the line of scrimmage around. It looks like the Cardinals are backing up here, so that may be a good sign for the Senators. Will be holding against the Cardinals, so a rare penalty against Farmington. So that will back them up. It is third down, ball at the 20. So 3rd and 15. Again, they have a good kicker. They could put themselves up by 10. Of course, they did not use him when they had the opportunity in the final drive of the first half. 4 receivers near side, 1 on the far side. Man in motion is Moore. Lester steps up and caught by Keaton. We'll bring up 4th down as he's down at the 10-yard line.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the wrong side of the chain gang.
So they do bring out the field goal unit. So Conran out to attempt the First Community Bank field goal attempt. All-State in 2024. Of course, he's perfect so far this evening on 3 extra point attempts. First field goal of the night from the right hash. It's no good.
Whoa.
No good. Off to the right. The Senators fired up. Still down a score with 44 seconds to go.
You know, we were talking about how good he is from distance, but I guess it doesn't matter if you can't convert when it matters.
Of course, he was nailing it down the middle. As you can take a look, it looked good for a second, but it just a hair to the right. Crucial miss by the Cardinals, but the Senators will take over at the 20-yard line now. Handoff to the running back. Oh, it's a big play, big pickup there. That's Bryson Cunningham. That's why he's out there. First down, a UAMS first down.
And he is excited about that one.
First carry. Oh, he is fired up. First carry of the evening for that young junior. We've seen a lot of different players get the handoffs tonight, but he'll stay out there. He'll get another one. He's fired up, following his blockers. Big run by Bryson Cunningham. Bryson Cunningham up the sideline, pushed out of bounds to the 25. What a run. What a run. This Senator team fired up. Fired up.
Bryson Cunningham gets his opportunity, and he does not miss. 2 huge plays back to back. He picks it up and takes it all the way to the 25-yard line.
coming into this game, second on the team in rushing yards, and just 2 rushes right there for about 50 yards. He's still out there. He'll get another handoff following his blockers. Decent run, about 4 yards. But Cunningham ignited this crowd. They brought some life back into Charlie George Stadium. And the third quarter comes
so
to
excited,
a close.
man.
He's saying, give me the ball! Give me the ball! That is what is coming out of Bryson Cunningham's mouth, and I have to agree. One more quarter. Ready to go.
I have to say this. I just watched him want to keep walking to the sideline, and Coach Up had to grab him and say, go to the huddle. Go to the huddle. I know you're excited.
He's fired up, and so are we. One more quarter left to play. Will the Senators be staying home for one more game, or will Farmington return and have home field advantage next week? We shall see. 21-14 is your score with one more quarter coming up.
Many people will experience orthopedic or spine issues in their lifetime, and the pain that goes along with that can make you feel, well, like a shadow of yourself. At the new Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health, we are dedicated to providing Arkansans with a brighter future they deserve.
Now, thanks to UAMS Health, I am dancing through life.
Choose UAMS Health for a better state of health.
And you can hear the fans here at Charlie George Stadium on their feet, stomping. They're ready for another 12 minutes of football. It's playoff football in Little Rock. Handoff, Bryson Cunningham. He's got some room to run. Does he have the first down? I think he might be just short. Will be 3rd and 1. Bryson Cunningham coming in. He's been the number 2 running back all season long to number 1, Deuce Williams. He, up until the third quarter, had not gotten on the field. Been a lot of Trey Petty and a lot of Tank Reese before him, and now Cunningham is making everybody know he'll be the starter next year. Handoff again to Cunningham. Cunningham, he's definitely got the first down and a little bit more. He's still keeping those legs churning.
I also want to point something out that I saw on the sideline. Obviously, we were watching if Deuce Williams was going to get up, start walking, try and walk off the obviously serious injury. And I saw Bryson Cunningham walk over to him, and it seemed like he was asking questions, trying to figure out what he could do. It seems like this was planned from the moment that Deuce got hurt. Bryson was going to be the next up. And so far, it seems that whatever Deuce told him is working in his favor.
Again, a handoff to Cunningham up the middle. He'll be stopped at the second level. Planted in the turf. Number 24, Crosby Schmidt. One of the Cardinals in to make the stop, but he did pick up about 2 yards, so 2nd and 8.
To respond to somebody in chat, shocked Deuce has not tried to come back into the game. I can confirm he has tried.
He has.
I think it is advised against him to not return to the game.
Absolutely.
We've seen him trying to get on to the sideline, but
he's put on his helmet. We know that. He's tried, but he has not succeeded to get on the field. Simpson looking. Jump ball. Touchdown! Touchdown! Senators with the score. Warrior Benson. Love to see it.
Josiah Warrior Benson. That really could have been a pass interference call as well, but he takes the dive, and you have to think that feels amazing for him. Losing the fumble earlier, dropping a bubble pass a little while after that, and now a diving touchdown catch in the golden grass, and he scores 20-21. William Tate puts it up through the uprights. 21 all, Chris.
21 all. Tate nails the first Community Bank extra point attempt. Let's take another look. They're playing run. Yeah, you can see one-on-one against the Cardinal defender. No doubt about it. That's why UCA is giving him a spot on their football team next year. What a big-time play for Warrior Benson, ultimately tying this one up. 10-16 left to play in this ball game. The Cardinals were stopped off a missed field goal on their last drive. Let's see if the defense, they seem amped up. Let's see what they can do on this one.
And Bryson Cunningham, man, set that entire drive up, man.
Yep.
I mean, I think he picked up 60 yards in two rushes. And he sets them up perfectly, gets them around the red zone, and allows Josiah Warrior Benson to finish off his sentence.
And also, yeah, it was a great pass by Reese Simpson. We've been wanting to see that all night. He's been getting it out to the screen passes, is trying to make his playmakers do something. You don't see a lot of jump balls anymore, but that's why you got to get it out to your 6'3", 6'4" receiver in Warrior Benson. Tate, deep kick over the head of the return man, and it will bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So Farmington will take over at the 20, but has the momentum shifted? The Senators fired up here. 10-13 left to go for the Cardinals. A lot of time for both teams to get another possession. Lester and this offense, he has been brilliant. Passing, running. He steps back, looks right. He's going broken up. Big time pass broken up. I believe that was Kalen Norwood having one heck of a game.
This crowd's getting into it more.
They are. You can tell the student section, everyone's on their feet, except whoever's on that back row. Stand up. Come on now. Second and 10. 10 minutes left to play. Lester pumps, going deep. He's got a man open. Did he catch it?
I think he did.
I think he did. He bobbled it. It was Dawson Keaton.
I can't tell who was on that coverage, but they tripped over themselves.
Yeah, I think that was Norwood in coverage, and Dawson Keaton picked up a big-time UAMS first down. We'll take another look at it. Of course, they're off the left of your screen, and they're, of course, going quickly here. They only get about a yard or two on that carry, and we do have to keep in mind the Cardinals, after big plays, they love to go quickly to get this defense scrambling. That was Patterson in on the stop after that 2-yard gain by the Cardinals. Take another look at that run right there that we missed. That was Logue on the rushing attempt, and of course stopped by the big-time defensive tackle, Dominio Patterson. He's made some good plays up the middle. They've actually been running away from him. Lester trying to step up in the pocket. He's going to roll out. He's going to take off. Campos brings him down, but I think he got enough for a UAMS first down. Actually, they're going to mark him short. It will be 3rd and short.
And a few Robinson Senators fans on this side were a little upset there was no call, but I did just see a pancake. It's about all you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great block on that outside by number 75, Gavin Hammock, who, of course, was injured earlier in this game, has come back and made a great play to the left guard. It was either him or the left tackle made that big play, and going to have a timeout here. Will be a timeout by Farmington, I do believe. So that will be their second timeout used.
I believe that Parkview has now won their football game. I will confirm that here in just a moment.
They
were
were down by 3, 7-10 at 1 at the half.
Let me confirm that.
Oh, yep, you're right. We got it here. 21-17 was the final score between Parkview and Harrison.
It was 13-17 with 3 minutes left.
Wow. So Parkview, a big-time drive to end and win the ball game against the 4-seed Harrison Goblins. Got to give it up to them. Defeated the 1 seed out of the East, Valley View. And what's up?
Lakeside has beaten Greenbrier 24-21.
Oh, my goodness. So what was the only other undefeated team in 5A is down, but we still have this football game. One team trying to hold on to the perfect record.
And they're going to try and QB sneak this.
Lester, the quarterback. It's 3rd and 1. It's going to be handoff to Logue. He's got the first down, dives forward for a couple more yards. A big-time pickup on 3rd down for UAMS first.
And a good play call. They cheated me.
.805 left to play in this ball game. Both crowds on edge, all-out pressure to Lester. He runs out, slings over his body, broken up, but a flag. The Senators furious. It looked like great coverage by Jaden Todd against Brady Richards, which is not easy to do. But that will be a penalty against the Senators. And Farmington will get some free yards.
And for anybody, I apologize, for anybody that is curious where Deuce Williams is, he was hurt middle of the 3rd quarter and he is probably more than likely out for the game. He is still on the sideline getting taped, but very, very unlikely he comes back into this ball game.
Now, he's tried.
He has tried very hard.
But probably for the best interest of his health, he needs to stay out of this ball game. Lester going to step up. Campos almost had him, and he's going to get sacked. Caleb Smith brings him down. Eventually, the Senators were going to get to him, and a big-time loss for the Cardinals as they were knocking on the door of the red zone. Now they're all the way back to the 31-yard line.
And he's been pressured like that all game, but he's been able to get the ball out in time. But in this case, everything went right for the Senators. They found every open man, and it gave that D-line just enough time to get to Lester.
4 receivers, far side. 2nd and 22 with 7 minutes remaining. Lester rolls out right. He's looking. He can run too. He's under a lot of pressure. They're bringing him down again. Jackson Redmond. Wait a second. No, that is not Redmond. Oh my goodness. Zach Compton, the junior defensive end, with the biggest play of his high school career. Congratulations, Compton. He's still out there. I was wondering who would step up when Campos went out, and it's the junior, Zach Compton. Look at this right here. Lester, nobody open. Had to do something with it. Compton says, come here, sit down. 3rd and 32.
Delay of...
It is against the Cardinals. Backing up even more. The Senators fired up. Us too. Maybe me more than you right now. 3rd and 37.
I'm letting you go, man.
6:06 left to play in this ball game. The Senators ready to come away with the stop. The Cardinals have been almost perfect on 3rd down, though. Keep an eye on it. Man in motion. Lester, no protection back. Busted. And he's going to run out of bounds, and that will bring up 4th down. That was Warrior Benson chasing him out of bounds.
And here comes the punt unit.
That is crucial.
That's unbelievable.
In situations like these, you have to keep an eye on the fakes. But for the first time tonight, we see Ian Shadden, the senior punter, who was a great punter last year. All conference to be exact, average 40 yards per punt. He'll be punting back at his own 40. Back to receive is Frampton. It's a high punt. Kyron Grimes will let it bounce into the end zone. Too high, too bouncy. The Senators will have the football at the 20, and they have 5:58 to work with. And it's a tied ball game. The Senators, do you think they're going to try to run out the clock, then score at the end, or they're just going to try to go with whatever's open?
With how good Bryson Cunningham was in the last drive, I think they probably try and get this clock to go down as much as possible. So I'm very curious to know if they try and hand that to him. And he is the back next to Reese Simpson.
The receivers, Braylon Brown, Josiah Warrior Benson, and almost looks like that's Jayden Todd as well. Cunningham will have the football in the start out, run up the middle, get about 4 yards right there.
An update, Morrilton is up on Hot Springs 26-20 with about 6 left.
So Lakeside prevails. Of course, that's on the other side of the bracket. But that Hot Springs Morrilton game is another one to keep an eye on. And that is not a good sign to see. Bryson Cunningham came up off the field limping, and the trainers are going to have to go out and tend to him. So not good that the number 1 and number 2 backs for the Senators are both down here. Of course, they still have Trey Petty and Tank Reese, who have both gotten carries today.
Yes, number 17, Josiah Warrior Benson is a senior this year. He will be graduating early as well.
Yep. So
he will be this will be his final semester here at Robinson. He'll be headed up to UCA early. I would imagine to try and get some reps in with the team as much as possible.
And probably so. And Cunningham, he's up off the field. Of course, he'll have to take at least one play off. He's walking on his own power, but he's walking kind of gingerly here. So the big question is, who will step up at running back on this drive? Looks like it's going to be Petty, but again, they still have Tank Reese, and we saw Brent Mooney last week. Haven't seen him tonight. Of course, he's the quarterback for the junior high squad. But he had a rushing touchdown last week in that playoff win against Camden Fairview. It was a late game touchdown. But they're ready to go here. Handoff. It's Petty. Petty up the middle, holds on to the football.
That's a good run.
He's got enough for a UAMS first down. That's another guy that's going to be competing next year with Bryson Cunningham for that running back 1 job. 5:21 left to play in this ball game. Clock stops briefly. It's back on now. Frampton, Brown, and Warrior Benson, the receivers. Handoff to Petty. Petty following his blockers, maybe got about 3 yards. Actually, I think they'll give him 4 yards on that carry. So already some solid momentum behind their new back in Trey Petty. Of course, heading into this game, he's already found the end zone a couple of times. 2 times to be exact, running the football 3 times through the air. Hand off again. It's Petty. And spins off, and somehow is still on his feet. Petty, he's still up. He's still up. Trey Petty goes down at the 45. What a run by the junior. How did he stay up?
How did he get as many yards as he possibly did?
Oh my
goodness.
Oh my goodness. Now Petty's going to take a much-needed breather right there.
You want to
What a
talk
run.
about a running back room, man.
Oh, my goodness. You think it's all Deuce Williams? It is not. Tank Reese is now out there as the back. But Frampton and Warrior Benson out there as receivers. Hand off to Reese. Reese, he's got a lot of room to work with. Tank Reese following his blockers, goes out of bounds inside the 25. Another UAMS first down, 3:55 left to go in this ball game. Can the Senators get it into the red zone?
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Senators.
And wherever Deuce left off, he let his younger running backs know, y'all can do it too. Just find the openings, and that's what Tank Reese just did right there. Picks up a solid 20 yards.
Yeah, nothing right behind the right tackle, so he had to bounce outside and make it himself. Another run by Reese. To get a little bit of a push, but not much more. Take a look from Chance, our sideline camera op, and that was a great look, but the Senators ready to get going once again. And Trey Petty back out there as running back. And congrats, and a phenomenal job by Tank Reese setting them up. Now they're in the red zone right at the 20-yard line, 2nd and 7. Todd and Brown, the receivers on the left side, but I imagine Petty's getting this football. Petty, he'll break through.
And he got some extra.
He got the first down. Another UAMS first down for the Senators. This crowd is on their feet. They can feel it. They can feel it with 3 minutes left to play in this ball game. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my voice. This is the most exciting game we've played all season long. We've had some exciting ones. Camden, Fairview, Searcy, Jonesboro, all exciting. Of course, beating Pulaski Academy for the first time in school history, but what a game so far. And it is not even close to over. Petty, get a few yards right there.
And you can pick up a first down here on this 2-yard line.
They still have a lot of time to work with. 2:22 is how much time they have left in this fourth quarter. Tank Reese will come back in at running back. Of course, had a big-time run of about 20 yards previously on this drive. We've not seen a single passing play, but they're still moving this football. And, yep, they can. They're in, of course, field goal range. William Tate has nailed 4 of them this year. Tied ball game, 21 apiece. Hand off again. This time to Reese. Reese got inside the 5. It looked like
he ran into Patterson, I think.
Yeah, but it didn't look like he had
No, that's
much,
not going to be Patterson. I apologize.
It didn't look like he had much opposition in the way, but he's right. Okay, they marked him down at the 5, so it will be 3rd and 3. The line to go is at the 2. 1:20 left to play. Plenty of time to work with. Reese, the running back. This line has been incredible tonight. Back to Reese. Reese jumps over somebody, but he didn't get quite enough. He got maybe a yard. Actually, they're going to mark him short. They'll mark him at the line of scrimmage. That will bring up 4th down. 1 minute remaining. There's a timeout. Not sure who called the timeout. Farmington burned their last time out. But it's 4th down. But we do not. Look, if we've learned anything from what Farmington did at the end of the first half, you got to go for the field goal here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It is right down the middle, just about. William Tate, 4 of 6 from field goal range this year. This is pretty much where he's kicking for extra points, and he's missed only 1 of those this year. I'm saying give it to Will Tate. let him kick this football. It's a tied ball game. Doesn't matter how many points you get, you just need something. And that defense, of course, needs to come away with the stop. They did add 3 more seconds to the clock. Oh, my goodness. It's 4th and 3.
They have Reese Simpson out there right now.
Oh, my goodness. A gutsy call by Coach Updergrove and his offensive staff. Tate's going to stay on the sideline. Keep in mind, they could just try to get Farmington to jump off sides. Not a single receiver out there. All backs. We've seen this formation. Dominio Patterson and Redmond are out there as fullbacks. Do you give it to Patterson in this situation? Simpson under center, trying to get them to jump.
Have plenty of time on the play clock.
And I think the Senators are going to take the timeout here. And I think that's exactly what's...
Yeah, William Tate coming out on the field.
William Tate's... Yep, he's already warming his leg up. They couldn't get Farmington to jump.
I like that decision.
Yep, try to get the automatic first, then punch it in. But it is 4th down,
I like
3 yards to go.
I like it for my heart, though, as well.
I know. I feel like I might need to go to the doctor or something. I also feel like I'm getting a hernia. I've been screaming so hard. My goodness. Me and Deuce are probably going to go to the doctor after this one. Kyron Grimes has been holding so far tonight. It has been Lennox Campos. But Grimes has the very important understated duty tonight. .103 left to play. Tate, 4 of 6 on the year. First Community Bank field goal attempt right here. Hold, good, kick, up, through! It's good! The Senators take the lead. 24-21 is the score. 103 remaining. They have to come away with the stop. (24-21) your score.
Whew. Hey, we're not the only ones in this. Hot Springs is up 27-26 with 3 minutes left.
That is whoever wins that one plays the winner of this game right here. Take another look at that field goal. Clutch, and was good from even further out. William Tate, nerves of steel.
And remember, I think this defense has some momentum under their heels here. Some fire. Because, I mean, that last defensive drive was the best we've seen all game.
It absolutely was. They had to bring out the punt unit for the first time. They are a high-powered offense.
And I think if you're William Tate, I'm sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
I think William Tate needs to put this in the end zone here. Give no chance. Although you could say, allow them to try and run it back a little bit. Take off some time.
Tate, big leg, set to kick off. It's a booming one into the end zone for the touchback.
Farmington has 0 timeouts here.
They have that's right. And the Senators have 2. 24-21. 1 minute left to play. No timeouts. What will Tommy Tice, the head coach of the Cardinals, and his offense do right here? Lester, the quarterback, has been brilliant tonight. They'll need it here. Looking left, they just got to get out of bounds, and actually
he's not
out of bounds.
He's in.
He's in. Aiken Johnson, they got to go quickly. 10 seconds off the clock. They got to go. 45 seconds left to go. Clock continues to roll. Lester looks right, looking under pressure. Lester firing it away. Flags come in.
He slipped on his own.
He was looking for Keaton on that right side. Senators not happy with the flag. I believe that was Frampton in coverage.
I'm a little confused on that call, to be honest with you, Chris. Okay. Holding makes a little more sense. I thought that was going to be a pass interference call.
Yeah, so holding on the defense, and we'll take a look at that one as they get set up, and you can't really tell until, you can't really tell right there, but Keaton was down on the ground. 34 seconds left to play. They have the football at their own 32-yard line. Shotgun formation. Lester rolling. He's going to try to get out of bounds, and he does.
He did try and get out of his way. That's not going to be a call. I know you were thinking it too.
I was thinking it as well, but 6 seconds went off the clock right there. 28 seconds remaining in this ball game. 3-point lead by the Senators. Again, the Cardinals have 0 timeouts. Lester rolling right, under pressure. He's got to step up. Redmond pushes him, and he's finally brought down. They got to go. They got to clock it. 16 seconds, 15, 14. They got to do something with it. And we have a stoppage. What are we doing right here? We're at 12 seconds. Now they go. It's third down. They got to clock it, and that's what they do. 7 seconds on the board right now. The Senators in prime position. The Cardinals, I do see some dirty laundry near the Cardinals sideline.
I think it's going to be I know what they're arguing, but I don't want to say anything until I hear this.
The official still talking this one over. The white hat ready to make his final decision. Okay, there is a timeout called by the Senators. So they add 2 more seconds, so 9 seconds for the Cardinals to work with. There was no penalty on the play. 9 seconds. It's third down. It doesn't even matter the line to gain at this point. Third down from their own 34-yard line.
Chris, is your heart racing?
Yes. I'm going to have an aneurysm.
I like the way you said that.
But if this is how I go out, that's okay. Nine seconds. No timeouts by the Cardinals.
Chris, I might go crazy here.
Lester, the quarterback. Could this be his final play of his high school career? They're ready to go. Lester looking left, looking for Johnson. They're trying to lateral to Logue. Time is almost expired. He's down.
Yes! Yes!
No flags. The Senators win the game. The Senators move on. The undefeated season is still alive. What a game. Senators.
Chris, I got to lay down for a second.
Oh my goodness. What a victory, 24-21. Your Joe T. Robinson Senators will move on, and they will face the winners of Hot Springs and Morrilton in the next round of the 5A playoffs. The road to War Memorial Stadium is still intact. The dream is still alive for the Senators. What a victory. Coach Updergrove, that legacy keeps on building.
Chris, my adrenaline is so high right now. I had to lay down there for a second. Did your head hurt?
My heart hurts, buddy. My gosh. Oh, my
And I will get an update on the Hot Springs score right now for you guys as well to find out who.
Oh, we have an update from our producer. What is this quality? Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry, but this is why the Natural State Sports Network has the best quality. Okay, here it is. Oh, they don't even have a scored bug. They have a, well, I don't know how many points Hot Springs has, but somebody has 32. Are you? Well, see, you can't see it. The way that they have that angled, yeah, I don't understand. Somebody's got 32 points.
The best way to describe that was an emotional roller coaster.
We cannot tell how many points the Trojans have. The
Here we
Devil
go.
Dogs have
I am
32.
we're being told in chat, Morrilton just scored 36 seconds left. Morrilton is 36 seconds away from taking that game away from Hot Springs. It was 27-26. Morrilton scored. So that would make it, I believe, 32-27.
Wow.
If I'm doing the math right. Maybe 33, depending on if they made a field goal or not.
Wow. What a game. And
33-27, I apologize.
Okay, 33-27, so that game's still very much not in the books. We'll see who that winner is. We'll try to stay on the broadcast and keep that updated. But, Will, I got to say, before we talk about the great game from the Senators, as you hear this crowd roar on their feet, ready to celebrate, I have to say, what a performance from the Farmington Cardinals.
Yeah, man. You want to talk about, like, golly, Aiden Lester, man.
Aiden Lester.
That is a heartbreaking way to lose a game that you dominated, man. Like, oh my gosh.
I think you could say, certainly in that first half, Aiden Lester and the Cardinals, they won that first half. But Lester will finish out his high school career as one of the greatest to ever do it in a Farmington uniform. We'll also get an update from another team in our network still fighting in the playoffs. It's Sylvan Hills. They were down 18-7 at the half. Now they have the 28-25 advantage. Thank you, Avery. Thank you very much.
Sorry, it's 34-27. They went for two and converted it.
Wow.
So now, as we wait for that completion, Chris, first of all, I want to go ahead and I've known my offensive MVP the entire game, not the entire game. Very recently is Bryson Cunningham. I know he did not score. I understand that. But Bryson Cunningham created that drive that gave Josiah Warrior Benson the opportunity to score in that corner on the diving catch. Bryson Cunningham, to me, is the MVP, I think, overall, because that was an unbelievable bounce back.
And I agree. But I'm going to try to, I try not to have the same as you. I got to give it to the guy with the ice in his veins, William Tate, scoring the game-winning field goal.
And big shout out to Chance, our camera guy on the sideline. Please don't say anything crazy.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll see y'all next week, man. Yes, sir.
What a performance from everybody here at the Robinson Sports Network. But again, the Cardinals, what a season, dropping to 9-3 overall. And of course,
now, Chris, unfortunately, this is my last game with the Robinson Sports Network of this season. I don't get to. I have other things happening with my other job.
Of course, it's Thanksgiving next week.
It is Thanksgiving next week. However, I promise I will be watching and cheering on as hopefully your Robinson Senators move on to play at War Memorial Stadium in 2 weeks. But my God, it's been an unbelievable ride of a season. What is that? Is that 12, 11-0, 12-0? It's 12-0, right? 12-0 currently. Hopefully looking at a 14-0 season. Now, Chris, we went to North Little Rock. We saw that one time.
Yeah.
So
it's happened.
It's happened, and it feels good as a fan.
And they know. They last went in 2021.
Yeah.
They know what it feels like. You guys know what it feels like to go to the big dance and win it all. Can you get back? That is the question. Parkview has – oh, no, Parkview won, right?
Parkview did win, yes.
Parkview, still one of the top opponents, but Greenbrier got knocked off. The other team that was undefeated coming out of the 5A into the playoffs, they are done. Will you be able to play your old foes from last year, Hot Springs Lakeside? That is the question. But before that, is it Morrilton or Hot Springs?
And I am watching.
We're still keeping up with that score. We will not go away until that final
we can
score.
talk. We can talk about this game, man, because this was just an unbelievable. I mean, that is the most gritty win you can possibly get. It's what you live for as a player in any sport. This is what you live for. You live for the games that are going to come down to the wire, the ones that you're forced to make a play to win the game. William Tate did it. The defense did it on the try and force lateral. I thought there was going to be a Hail Mary there at the end because he has the arm for it. But, my God, that's the type of game you wish for. And, I mean, losing Deuce Williams, still pulling out the game, that is like unbelievable by the Senators.
Unbelievable. And I gotta shout out one guy on that defensive side of the ball. Obviously, we saw a sack by Caleb Smith, but we also saw his first career sack, Zach Compton.
Yeah, Zach Compton, man.
Defensive end, the biggest play of his life, and he makes it in the quarterfinals of the 5A playoffs in a tied ball game to turn the tide in the Senators' favor. Everybody on both sides of the ball for the Senators had an immaculate game. Perfect, no turnover performance from Reese Simpson. And, of course, we're still keeping up with some of the other scores.
Sylvan Hills just went up with 4 minutes remaining.
Okay, so they have a sizable lead now against the Marion Patriots.
29 seconds in the Hot Springs game.
Yep, we're keeping an eye on that one. And hey, Avery, if you would look at the Mills score. Will's got the Hot Springs score. Avery, if you'll look up the Mills score, because that's the other team in our network still alive in the playoffs.
I'm not kidding. This is almost an exact replica of what we just watched here at Charlie George Stadium. I mean, clock ticking, 15 seconds left. In this case, it's a touchdown score or deficit, but around the 35-yard line is about where the Farmington Cardinals ended up. 15 seconds remaining in this game.
And I will note that Mills, unfortunately, their season ends tonight. They were not able to move on after a tight first half of action. They dropped their game against the Bauxite Miners, 40-28. And Will, what are you seeing with this
I just watched a probably 40-yard strike. They're on the 30-yard line right now. Hot Springs has this football.
And they're down in this ball game. It's a tight one. Whoever wins this game is who Robinson will play next round.
And that's why we're still on air right now, guys.
Yeah, we're not going off the air until we know about that final score. Again, the Senators will be moving on. They have one more game to go before they head to War Memorial Stadium for the 5A state championship. And Will, of course, that won't be a game we'll be able to commentate. Unfortunately, we don't have I
might be there in person,
We're going to be there. I know I'm going to be there. That will be another broadcast that will be airing that one. Unfortunately, it's not us. I would love it if they just get both teams, their commentators, the do the broadcast that one, but that'd be incredible. It is also nice knowing that we're going to be back here next week. We don't have to tear down our equipment. We can leave it up and we can go home a lot quicker.
Well, I can't see anything, apparently.
Oh, come on, camera ops. Did they score?
No, they did not. It's broken up, and Morrilton will be the team that Robinson will be meeting next week.
Oh, my goodness. Morrilton comes away with the victory.
That's an upset. That's an upset right there.
Morrilton, the third seed out of the West, they have a top-tier offense, and just like Farmington, coming out of the West, they will be meeting your Joe T. Robinson Senators here at Charlie George Stadium next week. I know it's Thanksgiving next week. Finish the turkey dinner and tune in at 7 o'clock here at Charlie George Stadium for some Robinson Senator football. But until then, so long, and Will, thank you for joining me all season long. It has been a pleasure to work alongside you, one of my best friends since we were four, but it has been a pleasure. I'm going to be here next week. Will's going to be here in spirit. So long. Until then, be safe out there. Have a great evening. God bless. And go Senators!